Sorry about that, everybody. We are back for the series. Again, this is Boston, Charlotte, getting ready to get started here. Teddy had to step away for a quick second, but he'll be back shortly. Field set up. Teams have just finished their chats. We are going to be live with the game very shortly for you folks. And here we have our lovely Taylor Crawford coming over to hang out.
Ours said it has the red and it's live.
Little chant action from Charlotte. They're jazzed. They're ready to go.
Looks like Boston setting out their starting line. Carson Olazaba, keeper, and Athena Merritt, chaser. Looks like Will Richardson will get the start at chaser as well. And Peter Lawrence running at the chaser line.
And we've got Teddy Costa back. As soon as this plane goes by.
Let's say, I am the sound of the plane. Thank you for the introduction. While we're waiting for go here, just some quick keys to the game. 3 keys for Boston. Offensive execution by the chasers. Make sure you take advantage of the opportunities your beaters are going to give you. Don't leave any chances out there on the table. Likewise, force live ball turnovers. You don't want to just be giving up shots playing in the half court with a team you're trying to outpace. And make sure you have your stuff together when it comes to flag runner on pitch. They have Ryan Davis over there, and you don't want to be giving up 3 flag pulls today. Keys for Charlotte: physicality, especially in the quad ball defense area. You're hoping to play with parity as much as you can, but you really want to junk up the game, make it go possession by possession, keep the score low. That's your best chance today. Likewise, along with that, be conservative with control when you do have it. And the last thing, pull flags, but they got a player on that side who's the best in the history of the sport at doing it in this league.
Thank you, Teddy. Yeah, I think as often you see in sports, they can be a game of opposites. I think it's very clear that today a fast-paced game is going to favor Boston. A more slow, controlled pace is going to favor Charlotte. We'll see which team gets to play the way they want.
Yeah, it's all about imposing your will on the opposition, and today will be a good test for that in both of these teams' opening series of the year.
Boston out real quick, getting the ball in the hands of Richardson. Davis with control for Charlotte. We'll see what Boston can do in their first half court.
And Davis beating today, based on my pre-show discussion with them, I expect that to be a theme throughout the series. This isn't just a opening run type of thing. Davis is out here to play some legit utility minutes all day.
Beautiful pass behind hoops. Olabzaba's beat, passes off to Richardson. Richardson gets it through right before getting beat. That is going to be a goal for Boston. They lead 1-0.
Great finish there from Richardson and a quick shift as Doyle hops in on defense. Richardson, the Brown product, showing good physicality near hoops, and something you like to see for a player like that is growth. So well done there.
Yeah, Richardson has been electric for Brown in the past. Love seeing them get a chance here on Boston. Beautiful hit on defense from Pete Lawrence.
We're still vertical.
Boston, after that stop, looking to press the pace. Ball in the hands of Athena Mayer. Quick shot, just hits the rim, not through. Lawrence looking to press the pace defensively. Not able to get a hand in the way. Charlotte with a beautiful shot from the wing. Score is now 10-10, tie game.
That was number 73, Zachary Thompson, with the goal.
Excellent finish in transition there, and you know, it wasn't even 5 minutes ago we just talked about taking advantage of the opportunities your beaters are going to give you. If you're Boston, you got no dodgeballs back on a fast break opportunity. Throw it off the T-bar. Definitely one that Mayer wants back after letting it lead to the Charlotte goal there.
Yeah. Also, to those in the live stream, we do apologize. It sounds like you may still be vertical instead of horizontal. We'll be looking to fix that shortly.
A card on Doyle. Weird.
heads-up play by Lawrence on the restart is going to steal an extra possession for Boston while they're shorthanded here.
And we're being told that there is no horizontal vertical issue, so we are back to live. We won't be cutting anymore. Quick goal for Carson Obazala, and Boston leads 20-10. Charlotte on a quick counterattack gets wrapped up by Obazala. However, gets the ball out, and it's another goal for Charlotte. 2020, and I believe that was again
Thompson,
number 73.
Good start to the series from Thompson, and hey, who knows? Maybe I don't know the squad as well as I thought I did. Charlotte matching Boston's pace early, and so far it's resulted in matching scores here.
Boston was able to take bludger control, though, through that sequence. We'll see if Charlotte's able to continue to push the pace without control. Boston passing around on the top of the hoops, but a little bit sloppy, leads to a loose ball that Charlotte easily cleans up.
Yeah. Lack of execution on Boston's part. Good job by Charlotte. Another thing for Charlotte, you're not going to want to allow any second chances, right? You play good defense, don't have to do it twice. That's the easiest way to have success. And now they're able to get in the half court and see what they can do against Boston's zone.
They're probing from the wing right now. Keeper just waiting for the beaters to set something up. Passing it deep to 73, right back up top to number 1.
That's Caleb Brooks. That's shouted out by everybody that I talked to on Charlotte before the series. I expect big minutes from them and a major contribution on both sides of the ball.
Beautiful play from Charlotte's beaters to get control back. However, in that brief amount of time where the focus was gone, Boston able to generate a turnover.
Charlotte showing press and then trying to get back. And they'll survive it.
Good defensive stop by Charlotte. Obazala able to pick the ball back up, a little pass back and forth with Mayer. Ball still in the hands of Boston.
That's excellent hoop defense on that short hoop by the Charlotte Chaser on multiple drives in a row now.
Lawrence able to just rip through the defense since Boston's beaters were able to get control back and take all bludgers out of the play. Charlotte is going to need to find an answer if they can't keep beaters in the play on defense.
That is absolute carnage, wreckage.
took the hoop with them.
From Peter Lawrence right there. A good example of asserting their will physically, and that was one of the keys we talked about for Charlotte. You're up against it in terms of who you're able to bring to this game, who you have in the beating game. You need that extra physicality on defense from the Chasers and cleaning up loose balls. Work twice, but can't give any extra opportunities like they did there.
Brooks again with the ball for Charlotte, consistently leading the offense from the top of the key. However, quick press from Boston beaters is forcing some passes deep. We'll see if they're able to clean it up. And a beautiful pass from behind hoops from 86. Back to Brooks for a quick goal, ties the game 30-30. Quick counterattack from Boston, however, puts it 40-30 in favor of Boston. That's a goal for Obazala.
This game is at an electrifying pace so far. Charlotte with a fantastically executed half-court offense. I love the way they're getting their beaters deep to support the Chasers, even without the ball. It's making Boston have to rotate front and back of the hoops, puts a lot of pressure on your communications and rotations, and it results in an easy goal there for the offense of Charlotte.
Pass to the wing from Charlotte, back up to top, number 69 with the ball. Hernandez looking to send it right to number 4, taking it nice and slow as they get their second beater back in the play. Charlotte again able to get budget control back from this Boston defense. Ball goes deep, and a pass up top is easily picked off by Obazala. It's going to be Boston ball.
Again, here's the benefit from Charlotte being able to play with such parity in the beating game after. That's a tough first line to go against in Dillman and Collier. And by being able to steal control, sit on it, extend control for multiple possessions, you're going to be able to impose the pace of play that you want on this game. Remember, the magic number we had in the pregame was 12 and a half. I think Charlotte's not going to be able to take a game this series if they allow at least 12.5 goals to Boston. We'll see if that comes true here.
New beaters in for Boston, Max and Lulu. Classic look from them and a little bit more aggressive than the Collier and Dillman set. We'll see if they're able to wrestle control from this Charlotte defense. So far, they appear to be crushing it. However, a quick trade and a lack of beat call on the top gives control back to Boston. Beautiful defense from number 4 on Charlotte is going to take the ball out of the hands of Lawrence. While Lawrence does make a hit behind hoops, it's going to be a turnover at the end of the day. Charlotte's ball again. Score still 30-40, Boston leads.
Love the physicality that we're seeing so far. That was a big-time crunch at the top of the key from Charlotte. Excellent job to get the stop right there from the chaser number 4. And then Peter Lawrence showing they're not going to be outdone, trying to go get a little bit back. But Charlotte with the ball now.
I can still do it. We can just switch.
Little bit of chaos in the beater play, some chirpiness potentially in the chaser game. Not exactly sure what Chris Lecomte saw there, but if there are no fouls, that was a beautiful shot from Charlotte, and it would tie us at 40 all.
Yeah, Charlotte showing that they're going to be the aggressors even in the half-court offense, and a great job of playing cohesively. I was not expecting this level of cohesion between their chasing line and their beating line, but way to prove me wrong so far. They're doing an excellent job. And you see Cody Lebov out right now as a leader on the field for Charlotte. We talked in a pregame interview ahead of the show. I tried to reach out to some of the coaches. One of the things Cody Lebov talked about in terms of coming into this series and a mentality for the season was the next person up mentality. It doesn't matter who's here, doesn't matter who isn't here. You go out, you take every play, one play at a time, along with your teammates. He also made sure to say, and I wrote it down because I found it so compelling, winning is a symptom of putting the work in the right way. And that's definitely something trying to bring, and they've demonstrated so far in this series.
Unfortunately, number 15 did, in fact, play the wrong way there. Playing after beat's going to result in a blue card for Charlotte's beater, and that will disallow the goal. Score is still 40-30 Boston, and Boston will be on the offensive drive here with control, and Havlin being smart, not letting Charlotte get any of the bludgers by leaving 3 on the ground is going to result in an easy transition goal with no bludgers on defense. 50-30 is now the score. Boston leads.
Great drive there by Mayer, faking multiple times to keep the Charlotte defense guessing.
Yeah, and a good job. We talked about the last time in transition, how they probably would have wanted that one back. Well, they got it back and finished this time.
And we are now starting to see the aggressiveness of Boston's beaters take advantage. Unfortunately, it looks like a little bit of miscommunication between Frollo and Skura. Charlotte's putting the hustle in, able to pick up a loose ball and put in a goal.
Nice little goal there by number 39, Melissa Ross for Charlotte.
Boston now only up 50-40.
Melissa Ross, definitely a name you want to keep an eye on. Spoken very highly of by their teammates, by their coaches, and doing a great job there of winning a jump ball against 2 people and putting it in for a goal.
However, again, Havlin and Ju able to create chaos on offense. Yet another no-bludger defense is the result for Charlotte, and a quick goal for Steinberg. 60-40, Boston leads.
And that's always been the toughest part of playing these Boston beaters is the depth and the change of pace, right? So even if you play extremely well against Dillman's line, then you're going to have to come out and play a totally different style of game to have parity or win against Havlin and Ju. A turnover in the backfield and a quick one for Charlotte. Sloppy execution there from Boston. Great heads-up play by Charlotte.
I believe that was number 69, Bonnie Hernandez, with the goal for Charlotte.
And Havlin and Ju still causing chaos. Yet another no-bludger defense. This time it's Skura's turn with the offensive goal. 70-50, Boston leads.
Every goal that Charlotte gets, Boston has an immediate answer.
Yeah, it's right now really just up to Boston to put on a defensive stop, right? They're scoring at will. If they can start actually making stops, this game's going to get out of hand real quick.
And that's where pace comes in, right? Teams talk about we want to play fast, we want to play slow, and that's sometimes as far as the analysis goes. But how do you play slow? How do you play fast? You got to have the ball. How do you get the ball? You got to play defense. And so that's really what it's always going to come down to. No matter which way you slice it, who's getting stops is going to be able to impose their will.
Here comes Frollo.
We've got our first stop from Boston, allowing for another transition with yet another no bludger defense. Another goal on the board for Boston. They now lead 80-50.
Good little combination passing there in transition from Frollo in their MLQ debut to Hickmott, who's a longtime veteran, to Skura in the prime of his career for an easy one.
Speaking of little transitions, that's Hickmott to Steinberg that time on yet another bludgerless defense. 90-50, Boston leads.
Steinberg getting lateral, and he lets out the let's go as we got a quick timeout from Charlotte. I love the jump cut there in transition from the madman himself, Andrew Steinberg.
Yeah, really, I was about to say, I think that goal might put the need for a timeout, and they read my mind over on the Charlotte bench. They need to calm themselves down and get bludgers back into this game, because they have had 4 straight defenses without a single bludger to score them.
Yeah. And that's where it all comes together, like, gears in a cog, where you have the beating depth of Boston putting strain in different ways on Charlotte to match them. And if the pace of the play stays high, more times than not, Boston's beating is going to allow their chasers better opportunities. So even in a game that started 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-3, 5-4, right now all of a sudden in a blink it's 9-5, and that's where if you're Charlotte, you got to make sure you stick to the game plan. Do not let the game get away from you. You want to junk up this game. That's the best way for you to be able to survive with this next man up mentality. Go make your flag runner game, which you probably have an advantage in right now, at least personnel-wise. Go make that matter. If you go into flag runner on pitch down 10 goals, it's not going to help you. But if you can keep the score low, you can get to that in a position where it's a 3-goal game on either side. Now that's going to swing the outcome.
Yep. Perfectly said. We'll see if they're able to put it into action here coming out of the timeout.
Yeah. Kind of surprised by how long Coach Harry Greenhouse kept Ian Skura on the bench before getting into this one, but I do like the chemistry I've seen so far out of this line with the Steinberg aggressive point defense matching Juan Havlin's breakneck pace, and then you have Hickmott and Skura as the steady eddies, just kind of calming it down, making sure the execution happens.
Great beat there by Havlin to Charlotte's keeper, Woodard. And it'll turn over the ball to Steinberg.
Fast break opportunity for Boston. Steinberg puts it through. 100-50 is now our score.
I believe that's already a hat trick for Andrew Steinberg.
It is. Very, very efficient start to the game. Confusion on the Boston defensive side.
And a tackle by Steinberg.
Incredibly important tackle as well, because Havlin was forced to mess around on the sideline and try and retain bludger control. That gave them just enough time to get back into play, and give them yet another breather that they needed before setting up an offense. Frollo sends a quick one off to Skura right before getting beat. Skura collects it on the wing, puts it through the hoop. Boston now leads 110-50, and it really does feel like this game is getting out of hand.
Yeah, Boston has been able to maintain dodgeball control and use it to impose the pace that they want to impose. And it started with physicality, too, on that play, as well as good execution on the fast break by Frollo and Skura.
And, boy, you were talking about depth earlier from the Boston beater core. We've got their third beater line on, and it's got Aaron, star of the Canadian national team, as a third line. Like, what more could you ask for now out of the beaters on Boston?
With Tom DeMuth, who is absolutely no slouch, one of the underrated beaters in the game right now, in my opinion.
I know, practicing against Tom DeMuth, he has unbelievable range as a beater.
Yes, bionic arm on Tom DeMuth.
Boston starting off an offense the first time they haven't had control in a while, playing a nice half court. Skura and Richardson passing around on the top, out wide to Magner, back up top to Skura.
Sam Magner in her MLQ debut today.
Skura looking to take a shot. Boy, do you not want to let that man be open at the top of the key. 120 to 50, Boston still leads.
Very, very efficient start to the day for Ian Skura, plus minus through the absolute roof, and just all composure on the other side. Could never be me as a player. If I hit a shot like that, I'm letting every single man, woman, child, and pet in the building know that I'm that guy. And Skura just ho-hum, puts it through, gets back and plays defense.
It's a business trip.
That's right. A-B-A-D. All business, all day.
Charlotte started a half court of their own. Pass it back and forth at the top of the key. Brooks sends it wide to number 20. 20 being a little stagnant with the ball, letting Will Richardson get a little too close. Richardson not able to hold on, though. Sends it across the way to Brooks.
Nice block
Brooks, however, is blocked by Magner. Makes a nice blunder block of his own. However, Magner is all over him, generating a beautiful stop with the help of their beaters. And that is going to be ball in the hands of Will Richardson on Boston.
How about that from the new kid on the block, Sam Magner, who is also doing a lot of things this summer. Also the star of Shots by Sam, new vlog series on the MLQ Network. Definitely something to check out, but doing it all right now, and something that Leanne Dillman and Harry Greenhouse both mentioned in our pregame chats as someone to look for. A really well-rounded player, and you saw it right there. Excellent hands, excellent defense, diving on loose balls. Does not look like the moment's too big for her at all. Looks very confident out there, and if you're Boston, you're feeling good right now.
Yeah, and all the more credit to her. Coming out of Purdue, I believe she's only 20 years old right now, still sophomore, junior age. Like, she's got a lot of college game ahead of her, and she's already putting in minutes like this in Boston.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff to see.
Oh, geez, we're the kiss of death.
Apparently, we talked about her a little too loud. The refs got a little jealous. They got to put her in the box there. She's too hot. We get it. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, listen, when you're on a roll, sometimes you get cards for being too active, cards for cards for over hustling maybe. But we do have a great ref crew with us today. We have Chris LeCompte as the head ref, Sam Nielsen at HR, and Jess Daly as goal ref.
Amadal sneaking out the back corner too.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even see him at all out there.
Oh, Brooks is beat. Here comes Richardson.
Oh, and a beautiful arm in the way of Ryan Davis from Tom DeMuth. Beautiful stop there from the beater to allow Richardson the fast break, and Richardson connects with the hoop. Boston up 130 to 50. If you're listening to Teddy from the pregame, that would be the 13 mark in the kiss of death. We'll see if Charlotte can prove him wrong.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong, and it certainly won't be the last. But on that last play in transition, what a great job of influencing the play as a beater without a ball in your hand by Tom DeMuth. Young beaters, old beaters, coaches, go watch that play as an instance of just quad ball IQ in action and good heads-up play.
However, Charlotte finally able to answer some smart beating from behind hoops coming out of, I believe that was
64.
25 in the beater game, is able to take a beautiful play from behind hoops to briefly break up the dominance of Boston's beater core and allow a quick shot from 64, ending the drought for Charlotte.
Or my mistake, 54, Nicholas
54,
Thompson.
Thank you. Giving them their first goal in a while. That was an 8-0 run for Boston there. Score is now 140-60, however, because Boston was able to score on the fast break afterwards, but hopefully that sparks some life for Charlotte to do that once or twice more.
The Brown alumni are looking a little shake and bake out there. Richardson and Steinberg both putting the moves on in transition for goals in this game.
25 again, blowing things up in the beater game, allowing the Chasers to do some one-on-one action. However, Lawrence's physicality by hoops is going to protect Boston from a goal. Boston's ball in the hands of Lawrence, and they're looking for another half court.
Lawrence brought their hard hat today, looking to absolutely lay the lumber on some people and doing it so far. we'll see how Charlotte can do if they can string some stops and goals together now that they're sitting on possession of both dodgeballs.
Boston's starting chaser line back out there.
Doyle and Lawrence passing around behind hoops. Doyle driving a little bit, sees some beaters, sees a hoop zone, doesn't want to commit completely. Sees Obarzala on the wing, sends it. Obarzala sends it atop to Mayer. Mayer now driving with the beaters out of the way. Mayer to Lawrence, and Lawrence yet ahead with it. Full steam, just going through the defense, scoring, puts us at 150-60 Boston lead. And a beautiful stop in transition is going to give Obarzala a fast break. It's now 160-60 Boston's lead.
My goodness.
They're scoring faster than the sideline can keep up with them right now.
Jeez Louise.
If they're not beating you with their speed, they're beating you with strength.
Lawrence today and shows the most violent path. Fantastic job by Athena Mayer now 2 goals ago to make the extra pass to get a dunk for them, but I'm telling you, that's a human thwomp right there.
And Max Havlin just kind of having fun out there, dribbling 2 dodgeballs halfway across the pitch to maintain control for Boston. Gets back, has the control, uses it immediately to get a turnover on Brooks, gives the ball to Mayer, and Mayer coast to coast, easy breakaway goal, 170-60. Boston up by 11 right now.
And if you're Coach Harry Greenhouse, you're pushing the easy button here. So you started with the Dillman Collier line, who played with parity, I'd say, against the starting Charlotte line. Zhu and Havlin have a quick shift that is very, very efficient. Then you get into McCready and Tom DeMuth, and you say, and they had a great shift as well. Then you say, you know what, why don't I just go back to what's working? Havlin and Zhu are fresh again, and you get another stop out of it.
That's going to be one of those soft diving calls coming out of our head ref. Is going to be a turnover back to Charlotte. Doyle, unfortunately, diving in the path of Charlotte's chasers.
And that's a second yellow for Doyle.
Second yellow, that's a little dangerous. All it takes in quad ball is for you to dive in the path of a chaser. Unfortunately, Charlotte was quickly closing on that ball, so that dive was a little bit in their path. Going to be a turnover. However, beautiful, aggressive defense from Lawrence and a quick grab from Mayer is going to be a turnover. Ball in the hands of Boston. And it is only a single dodgeball on defense for Charlotte.
And we've been highlighting a lot of what Boston's been doing so far, but let's remember that play happens because of Melissa Ross's hustle in the backfield to go try to create extra opportunities for their team. And it does put Doyle in a little bit of foul trouble early in this game. Doyle, who is one of the more underrated wing players in the sport, scores a ton of goals very quietly and is a big piece for this Boston team.
Great call out. And that is the second incredible hustle play we've seen from Ross.
Yeah.
Earlier in the day, if anybody was just joining in, she stole a ball out of the air from both Skura and Frollo, all on her own for a quick goal.
Let's see if Charlotte can take advantage of Boston being down a physical chaser on defense.
Ball
Never mind.
in the hands of Thompson on the top. Unfortunately, the slow offense has allowed Boston to get back to full strength. Pass goes deep. Unfortunately, the pass back up top goes to nobody thanks to Zhu beating the potential receiver. That is going to be a legal reset. Ball's going to go right back to Boston at right around mid-pitch with what you assume will be a fast break. However, before that happens, we're going to 20-minute stoppage.
And we've officially made it to the 20-minute stoppage here at East Boston Memorial Park. And Boston is taking flight here in the shadow of Logan Airport, playing the game at the exact pace that they wanted to, trying to put this one in a position where even if Ryan Davis or any other seeker on Charlotte's able to catch the, pull the flag, it might not end up mattering at this point.
Yeah, we called it early, right? We said fast pace was going to favor Boston. Charlotte showed up in the beginning, looked like they were going to prove us wrong, but the depth from Boston has allowed that fast-paced gameplay to just obliterate Charlotte in the long term.
And the weird situation here, right? If you're Charlotte and you're looking to get back into this game, you might think this is like a situation if you're in baseball, like, oh, I need to hit a 6-run home run right now. You can't do that. So if you're Charlotte, the key to getting back in this game is getting one stop, one goal out of it. The pace doesn't matter. You're not up against an end clock like you have the 20-minute kind of puts an end time in your head. No, this game will go until someone reaches the set score. So if you're Charlotte, it's about you're in that huddle, you're getting together, you're saying, hey, we're the next person up mentality. Focus on what you've been doing well, which is some instances of good interchase repeater play on the half court where they did score. Some instances of good physicality, and making sure that you limit the live ball turnovers and take every opportunity that you can to make sure the ball goes.
Definitely. Something I really want to see from Boston during this is dominance in stitch pitchers. So flag runner pitch. They've got a very scary team in New York next weekend, and if they're not able to set the tone here now when it matters against a seeker like Ryan Davis, I'm concerned with what they can do next week.
Yeah, right, absolutely. I mean, as we said, Boston has a lot of question marks as we'll head back to the other side. Boston's a team with some question marks, and this is an important measuring stick for them to see where exactly they stack up. Are they a contender or are they a pretender like many, including those of us on the Tea Time show on the MLQ Network, have initially indicated.
To reiterate, the score coming out of 20 minutes is 170-60. Boston leads. Looks like Will Richardson will be doing the seeking for Boston.
I think Will Richardson will be doing the strong majority of the seeking today. It looks like, is that Stephen Tremple with the yellow on
Stephen
the
Tremple's going to
well?
be the other main option Boston looks to throw in today.
Taylor Crawford, our flag runner today, an extremely strong person. Low center of gravity, definitely going to need good technique for a pull here.
It looks like Ryan Davis is not the starting seeker for Charlotte.
Yeah, Davis playing a lot of minutes so far. Davis did say in our pregame interview, really just being a team-first mentality so far this season, especially this series. Going to play wherever the coaching staff needs them to play.
That's Austin Cruz wearing the yellow for Charlotte. Oh!
Wow. Richardson with the first look, real close to grabbing the stitch already.
You know you had a good chance when you get the entire sideline booth to go, ooh, all at once.
That seeker was advancing during the entire 3 count. However, it doesn't look like the refs were watching, so Charlotte's going to get away with it.
Hey, if you ask me, it's extremely important that the seeker doesn't advance during a 3 count. And for those of you that know your MLQ history, that's kind of funny. For those of you that don't, we can just move past it.
That goal there by Boston was off of a sneaky little beat by Havlin on Braxton Hale for Charlotte. Hale did not know Havlin was there.
Oh boy, and that's a beautiful catch from Tremple. Tremple had exactly 5 seconds with Crawford before he takes his shot. It's a beautiful shot, immediate pull.
Crawford congratulating him before the call was even made.
And that right there is why I've always thought of Tremple as the next coming of Tyler Beckman.
That's an interesting first. The 1 minute man is what they called him. Only needed 5 seconds in that instance. A catch so good that the photographers on the sideline complaining they didn't have a chance to get it on film.
Got to be ready for Tremple. Got to be ready. That is going to put our score at 220-60. I should say 225-60. Boston, they lead. They only need one more goal to end this first game. And we've got both beaters from Boston sprinting back into the play, forcing an ugly pass that Lawrence is able to pick off. Lawrence gets beat, but after a beautiful beat from Collier, which appears to have been before Charlotte was able to release their dodgeball, should make that dodgeball dead and should make Lawrence clear, which was the call from the ref closest to us. We will see if it stands up. If it does, that is the first game in the books. There it is, folks, 235-60. Boston takes the first game.
And some swagger at the end by Peter Lawrence, and an instance of very, very good awareness and IQ there to watch themselves get beat and know that it didn't matter because they had to play the whole way. Good job. Also, I never say this. Good job by the ref crew to be watching the right instance. That was called correctly on the field. Didn't result in a stoppage that muddies things up and lets lets the play come to a close.
Closing thoughts on this first game, Teddy.
If you're Boston, that went exactly the way that you wanted. Many of the haters like myself have been trying to say this is a team with a lot of question marks, and that if you didn't come out and dominate in all 3 games, then it's time to hit the panic button. Well, it hasn't been 3 games, it's been 1, but can't dominate 3 if you don't dominate the first, and that's exactly what they did. Charlotte on the other side, a lot of really, really good things, and just have to put it together. A lot of individual contributions that were stacked together and aligned cohesively in the beginning of the game, that once the pace got up and the field got a little big, they kind of broke the chain between beaters and chasers, and they weren't able to match Boston's physicality, which is really going to make it a long day for them if they can't clean that up.
Yeah, I would say if I was Charlotte going to this next game, I'd want to really think hard about the first 5 to 7 minutes of that game where we're able to stay neck and neck, take some learnings about how our beaters were performing it, what they were doing to get success, and really understand the ways in which the chasers can play around those beautiful opportunities their beaters are giving them. Because if they are not able to play in sync for a full 20 minutes in the next 2 games, we're probably going to get another blowout.
Yeah, and I go back to that possession. I believe it was their 3rd or 4th goal. They did a really good job, even without dodgeball control, to start the possession. They got 2 chasers deep. They got an armed beater up top and an unarmed beater in the back, and they were just very cohesive in moving the ball down and using even beaters without a ball to create space and force rotation. That got them a very easy goal on the short hoop by a crashing chaser. Yep. So you want to just get back to that, and none of that's too complicated.
No,
it's not. It's not this grand slam type of play. It's one little thing at a time. So don't let the game speed up on you if you're Charlotte. Make sure that you just get back to your fundamentals. Something that Cody both told me before the game is something that they want to make sure that they stay with at all times. Something that Ryan Davis reiterated as well. Do the little things right. The biggest thing about impacting winning is putting the work in, right? So put the work in, make a good pass, make a good cut, be on time with your beaters. String some of those together and you get a beautiful play, but don't go into it thinking, oh, this has to be perfect. Just do one thing at a time.
100%. We're going to do a new little clip for you both. We're each going to pick our favorite player of that game on both sides. I'm going to go first since I'm springing this on Teddy out of the blue. But for me, I'll start with Charlotte. Favorite player of that game had to have been Ross. She was beyond phenomenal offensively, putting in an incredible amount of hustle. Hustle is something every single player on the pitch can do. Nobody has to teach it to you. Nobody has to be more athletic than you, right? Like, it is 100% effort, 100% of mentality. She had it the entire time, got 2 incredible hustle plays out of it, and was also looking pretty sharp on defense. So huge shout out to her. On the Boston side of things, my pick's definitely going to be Magner this one. Was electric for her first game so far. Not necessarily saying she had the biggest impact, but the player I had the most fun watching in those spurts today. Little bit downside for some of the other players. They were doing fast breaks and I could only watch that so often, but the defensive hustle from Sam was incredible. The offensive view half court she was a part of, the passes were crisp. She was catching them. She was sending them out quickly before anybody pressured. Loved watching both of them. Those are my favorite players from this first game.
I'd say on the Charlotte side, I loved the hoops defense from Allison Slaminski. Large player, good body on her, uses her size well, got a lot of good stops around the hoops. Really good job handling the ball, making good passes. They ran a lot of the offense through her in those minutes that she was on the field. Player I expect to see continued good performances from. And on the Boston side, I mean, Peter Lawrence was looking for contact and won in every instance except for one. When you score all those goals and make stops around the hoops, as a person with a chaser bias, hard not to pick Peter Lawrence. Although I did also love the Tom DeMuth strip in transition right there. So
yeah, I think that might have been my favorite individual play of the game.
Yeah.
Tom getting the hand out there was incredible.
For my players, I'll go Zachary Thompson for Charlotte in the first shift. Really made a difference, scoring a couple quick goals.
Had the first 2.
Yeah, was keeping Charlotte in the game for the first 5-ish minutes. And then for Boston, I'll go Will Richardson. I think getting the ball on the run up to the midline at the start of the game, had some quick plays on both sides of the ball. Looked really good out there.
Yeah, Will Richardson. I mean, not to make this about me, but where was that on Brown this year? I'm just saying, finishing strong at the hoops. But hey, that's what a few weeks with Harry Greenhouse will do. Obviously, he was involved in the program the last couple of seasons, even going back to practice squad days. But yeah, playing with some fire in his eyes and looking to go make plays rather than being passive with the ball and sitting back and letting others make plays. So good to see that from Richardson on both sides, offense and defense.
And of course, the seeker play that had us all going, ooh, before Tremple eventually caught it.
Yeah, before Tremple caught too fast for us to react. All right, that's going to do it for us for this game one. We are going to leave the stream going, but on mute, so you all are welcome to hang out. We'll try to get back on a good 5-10 minutes before the next game to give you a little bit of pregame analysis. Thank you all for joining us. I'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, we're back.
All right, and we're back. And before we get into coverage for Game 2, we're actually going to do a quick interview with Teddy's fan favorite of the first game. Teddy, you want to come on out? Got Peter Lawrence, incredible physicality all that first game. We've got to talk real loud so they can hear us on the front of the camera. Going into that game, what was your guys' mentality on the whole?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first game of the season, it's all about execution. This summer we've had about a month or so of some pretty hard practices, really just kind of like focusing on ball movement, getting together. As folks know, it's kind of two teams in Boston, and a number of college kids have to come together and kind of merge into a single group. So the big focus game one is just kind of executing on the things we've talked about the last couple of weeks. Really trying to like run our defenses the way we want to, run offenses off of them, and execute. So that was kind of mindset going in, and to the best of our ability, we executed that.
Nice. And obviously we won the runaway there, but there's always things that you can improve on. What are some things you want to clean up ahead of the next game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big one for us is just our half courts. A lot of the goals we were scoring on fast breaks, you love fast break goals, taking advantage, running in your lanes, but that's not always, you're not always going to have those looks. And so just being able to settle into the half court, really finding folks, moving the ball, moving the defense is going to be a big emphasis for us game 2 and kind of games after this. So that's kind of what's in our back of our mind, going to the next games of series and the rest of the season.
Yeah, me and Teddy are suckers for a good half court, so I appreciate you saying that. Other thing I want to ask, that timeout, right?
Yeah.
You all came in, it was a little rough right off the bat,
100%,
right?
100%.
They came up with you guys a lot closer than we thought they would. We go into that timeout. What was communication like in that first timeout? What were you guys thinking?
We were just kind of like keep our heads. Like sometimes things don't land at the beginning, sometimes they're rushed, right? Like even with all the practice, like it's so different in the game. And so kind of getting our minds right, not panicking, know that we can execute top to bottom, and that's really what happened. Like lines 2 and 3, momentum really shifted. Folks were executing, getting fast breaks. And then we just kind of rode that momentum. And so it's kind of weathering the uncertainty at the beginning and kind of going from there. That's sort of what we were looking for.
Beautiful.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's all we had.
Absolutely.
Good luck in the next game.
Thanks, y'all.
Kicking ass.
Thank you.
Those of you on the live stream, let us know if we were loud enough on that. If not, we'll do our next interview behind the camera. You won't be able to see the faces, so just let us know if it was good audio-wise.
And we're going to go back to mute for a little bit as we have the captain's meeting happening right now, but we'll check in a little bit ahead of game time, so stay tuned.
And we are back with game 2 of the Boston-Charlotte series. For those of you who missed the first one, had a very close start. Charlotte stuck with it until about 7 minutes in. It was very close, at which point Boston put on the afterburners. And for the rest of the game, I think Charlotte had 1 and Boston finished with 235. So definitely one-sided for the second half of that first game. However, we're looking for an exciting game 2. Hopefully a little bit of pivots, hopefully a little bit of changes. Once again, for any of you just joining, I am Mario Nasta. With me is
Teddy Costa.
And Daniel Baradat.
Thank you, Daniel, for manning the camera. Thank you for the shout-outs for player names. Daniel is doing an incredible job giving us names when we need them. Thank you so much for being here today.
Really carrying the stream. So this is, just like any MLQ event, a major team effort, not just from the teams on the field, the volunteers, people setting up the field, the fans coming out to watch. Pretty good energy so far from the building, but, not to quote like the worst guy in Boston right now, Kyrie Irving, but I was expecting the fans to be a little louder. I guess that's what happens when you just kind of blow doors.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
All I'm trying to do is make this a watchable sport for people who don't know what's going on, which is a lot.
And we love you for it.
And
Thank
you're doing
you.
great.
All right, starting line for Charlotte. Looks like keeper will be Caleb Brooks. Chasers, we have Allison Slominski, Zachary Thompson, and one that I cannot see their number. Beaters will be Ryan Davis. And
Number 7, I think.
number 7, Tony Bonadio.
I believe so.
Could be wrong. For Boston, it's Olazaba keeper, Richardson, Lawrence, and Mayer at chaser, and Collier and Gunnar at beater.
60. And another win of the quad ball on Brooms Up for Boston. Quick pass from Olazaba to Lawrence puts Boston up 10-0.
That last chaser for Charlotte is number 66, Corinne White.
Thank you.
Corinne White, one of the players identified by Cody LeBove in our pre-game conversation as one of the futures of the Carolinas. So definitely someone to watch as the series gets going.
And Davis's beater partner is number 57, Leo Bonilla.
57. It was close. I had the 7. Thank you. Charlotte settling into their first half-course offense of the game. Brooks holding strong, finds a beautiful pass to 85 on the wing. However, beautiful beat from Boston is going to get there just in time to prevent the goal. Boston will continue to lead 10-0.
Really good positioning there from Slominski, and a good job again of Charlotte to settle in, take their breath, don't make the game too fast for you, and good coordination between their beaters and chasers to set up a good opportunity there.
Something we called out game 1 as far as key points for Charlotte. Physicality is going to need to be there, and they were able to bring it for the beginning of that game at least. But secondarily, they're going to need to be able to slow the game down, chop it up a little bit, and really think through the way they want to approach this Boston aggression.
2 near misses there by Doyle. Great defense by White.
Doyle definitely seems surprised by the second one being called no good. But hey, we'll see what happens, because ball don't lie, as they say. I like the pace here from Charlotte. I say as a shot gets ripped out of bounds.
I'm not sure if that slipped out of hand or tipped off something, but Charlotte has had some. Oh no, it was tipped off a Boston defender on the pass, which is why it was Charlotte's ball again on the inbound. However, no close options is going to lead to a turnover to Boston. Olazaba coming down the field, sends it to Lawrence on the right, back to Olazaba. Passes it deep to Doyle. Doyle puts it through. Wide, medium move this time.
He made that one.
Wasn't going to take another miss. Was not okay with that the first one.
Doyle, more than any other chaser I've ever seen, specializes in underhand shooting.
Doyle with a background in volleyball. It's funny, you see Doyle in a quad ball picture. He's one of the taller players. You see Doyle in his college volleyball days at Northeastern, and he's one of the shorter players in the team picture.
back to another half court for Charlotte. Brooks with the ball in hand, taking it slow, hoping the beaters can do a little bit to get control. But right now, Boston once again is working with that control, forcing them to make some quick passes. One of those passes lands right on the top of Lawrence, right on the dome. Lawrence able to come through with it and start another offense for Boston.
A little bit of a different look there defensively from Boston, using more of a New York style match marking in the back by Doyle on Thompson, who was the leading scorer, I believe, for Charlotte in the previous game.
Mayer looking to drive a quick shot on the right, gets deflected. However, off the deflection, Doyle's able to collect it, send it up top, get another deflection, and then collect it for a third time before finally a pass goes across to Doyle and the goal gets through. 30-0, Boston leads.
And they've been near misses so far from Charlotte in terms of executing the way that they want. I think the pace is where they want it to be. It's just a matter of putting things together. We talked about the importance for Charlotte to be physical in the chasing game. They did that on that possession, and they just didn't lock down the rebound, and that's what came back to bite them by giving up the extra chance.
Yeah, and they're executing what we talked about on offense. They're taking it nice and slow, methodical. They're waiting for the beaters to open up lanes, and as soon as they did on that offense, they were able to commit, get the goal. Another one for Thompson, I believe. Again, starting off game 2, just like they started off game 1 with the first goal for Charlotte. It's now 10-30, Boston leads, but Charlotte's doing what they need to offensively this game, really slowing things down.
I think the unsung hero of that last offense was Ross for Charlotte, setting a screen on Doyle to get Thompson open. Doyle was marking them pretty hard.
Right, you are. Put Doyle on the ground, not something you often see out of a screen, and opened up a beautiful lane for Thompson.
And we talked about adjustments that Charlotte can make, right? It's not trying to run and get in this track meet per se. Just because you have control doesn't mean you have to try to push the pace. And they're doing a good
Brooks
job.
fights the whole team, gets it out to Thompson.
Being more conservative with control in this game, which is helping them control the pace.
Again, incredible hustle, incredible physicality there. Brooks being able to fight through, get the ball out. Thompson, unfortunately, let a little bit of a loose pass go through, so they missed the opportunity, but might get one here.
Great slap back by Caleb Brooks on that.
Yeah, saw maybe an inch of clarity between Max's hand and that ball, took the opportunity to get a quick swat, gave his team control, and it's a beautiful thing. However, Boston's able to be cheeky with their passes, and unfortunately, if you don't keep an eye in the back of your head as a beater, you might get picked like Max just did, and that is going to give control right back to Boston and going to generate a turnover due to a pass back over mid-pitch.
Havlin just taking LeBeau's cookies right there. A great beater battle, something that's happened over and over again. Two veterans of the sport have gone head-to-head many, many times.
You are likely going to see a very quick pass back over the midfield line from Doyle here. You are allowed to reset if it's the very first thing you do on a drive. I imagine that's what we're going to see here so that Boston get a true half-court going.
Can't drive if LeBeau's sitting right next to you with the dodgeball.
A little challenging,
Good, it's just certainly not.
Olazaba now starting off the offense, going down the side. Unfortunately, a deep pass goes a little errant, and it's going to be a turnover to Charlotte. But Havlin, once again, just stealing bludgers from Charlotte. They really need to start paying attention to him when he's behind them, because that is the second straight offensive transition where he's been able to get control back for free.
Man, did Havlin have pancakes before this game? He's got sticky fingers right now. Absolutely peeling dodgeballs out of the Charlotte players' hands. We'll see how they work without control.
Havlin immediately applying pressure on the top of the key, forcing Charlotte to drive deep. And with that force, we find Olazaba a little bit out of position, a little bit behind the 8 ball there on defense, and ends up committing a behind-the-back foul because of it, right? If you're able to push that transition, make defenses make mistakes. You can make them feel pressured. If we get some of these Boston starting line in foul trouble, it could be a good recipe for success for Charlotte.
Lawrence strips the ball out of Fournash's hands and ends up with it on the ground, now wearing the keeper headband for Boston.
And that right there was why Lawrence was Teddy's favorite player at Game 1.
Absolutely fantastic job there. Big stop when you needed one.
I thought Fournash might have had a chance with that one, but not over Lawrence.
Oh boy, and they didn't learn from the first game. You cannot let Skura get shots. Man does not miss.
Wow, Woodard does something that no one else has been able to do, gets past Peter Lawrence for a goal.
And a quick transition goal for Charlotte puts the score at 20-50. Boston is leading. Boston about to start another half court. That was one of the few transition plays we've seen from Charlotte in a while. Beautiful thing for them to see again. If they can keep that going when Havlin and Lulu overextend, it could be a recipe for success.
Underrated finish at the hoops there. Young players, veteran players, go watch that tape back. Went with a pump fake, and then while moving, let Skura fly by and scored around Skura's back. You think the layups are easy to make until you have to take them under pressure, and that was a really classy finish.
Oh boy! Frollo says I didn't get enough. I've heard of Skura. I'd like to put my name out there for contention too. Takes a beautiful rip from mid keeper zone and puts it in the wide hoop, giving it 60-20 lead for Boston.
That is what Emily Frollo does, rips shots, and that is what Emily Hickmott does, plays defense at every position on the field.
Oh, it looked like we've got an incorrect call from one of the refs. They didn't see who threw the dodgeball. So we've got a little bit of disagreement on whether or not Hickmott was beat. It was friendly fire, and I believe 2 of the refs saw that and called clear, so this is likely to be overturned, but that confusion is going to cause this slowdown, which honestly might end up being good for Boston because there were quite a few beaters starting to close in. This could have been a turnover.
Personal favorite of mine is the loud, "By who?" when having a live discussion with a ref. Definitely not something that I would ever do. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
That beautiful hustle play from Hickmott is going to give Boston another half-court opportunity. Oh, however, a beautiful beat from LeBeau almost leads to a turnover, but a late call from the refs allows Boston to keep going. Unfortunately, they felt the pressure, took a long shot, didn't go in.
Hickmott almost hit that. That was close.
Almost hit that. That was impressive. Steinberg immediately meets Charlotte at the mid-pitch line, puts them down on the ground, allows Max to make some quick beats. That's going to be a turnover. Steinberg floats it over to Skura. Skura puts it through the small hoop. Boston leads 70-20. That physicality coming out of some of these Boston players really starting to show up.
And Steinberg standing at the other team's keeper zone line, making sure they can't make it up.
I call him a madman with nothing but love in my heart. Steinberg is an absolute menace to society out there, and a player you'd love to have on your team and a player you'd hate to go against. As Fournash, who's having a really good series, bringing a lot of physicality for Charlotte, just found out.
I think Hickmott frustrated with refs.
No, I think that may have actually been the bench that got the unsporting conduct.
Oh, was it?
Shows him wanted to take the. Yeah, I do think that may have been the sideline getting a little bit too into this game. It's important to keep your head, folks. Unless you're commentating or watching from home, you're going to want to be a little bit more respectful of those refs. Beautiful beat. Shuts down another Charlotte offense. Going to be a transition opportunity for Steinberg coming down the left side of the pitch.
No dodgeballs.
Beautiful pass to Frollo. Frollo with the finish. And that is going to be 80-20 Boston lead.
It's a great pass.
Charlotte's breaking the chain a little bit between their beaters and chasers, letting the game speed up on their younger players. Have a relatively young line in right now, although, again, major players for them on the field. Take a deep breath, steady yourselves, and just execute one thing at a time if you're Charlotte.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity there, wasted, right? Charlotte's beaters able to open up a ton of space. And unfortunately, Charlotte's chasers tried to sprint through it before they were ready, and it led to a turnover with a beautiful swat from Ian, and then an even more beautiful sprint down the field and pass for another quick goal. Boston leading 90-20 now, and an immediate beat at the the top of the pitch is going to lead to yet another
Steinberg
turnover.
has that ball.
Steinberg strips it before Max can even make the beat. Boston offense starting off strong.
The Skura-Steinberg line, extremely efficient today.
Beautiful dodge from Skura. Attempted finish with the dunk from Frollo. A beautiful block from 20 on Charlotte. However, Hickmott finishes behind hoops, picks up the loose ball, passes it to Steinberg, and it's another goal. 100-20 Boston leads.
Hickmott has always been the perfect glue guy. Coming up on basically a decade where if you need something done on your team, you can rely on Hickmott to do it from any position, anywhere on the field.
We talked about the hustle in game one as some of Charlotte's players. Hickmott is showing it time and time again, play after play. She is here to hustle. She will get loose balls.
Great block there by Steinberg.
We talk about imposing your will, controlling the pace of play. Boston looking to make sure that they can do that. Switch to a mark defense on that one. Good heads-up play by Steinberg to get off of their mark, back to the hoops to get hands up to make a play.
Another thing I like to see out of Boston just now, starting that offense, they were sprinting, ready for a fast break. They saw the defense was a little bit too set up, and Skura smart enough to pull it back, take a deep breath, and get into a half court. Unfortunately, the passes are a little bit wonky that time. Charlotte plays some beautiful defense, sees the ball coming, gets a hand in the lane, gets a turnover. Deep pass from Charlotte to 41 behind hoops, gets swallowed by a beater, does get it out in time, up top, ball coming through in the hands of
Womack, number 27.
Looking to pass it. Nope, just going to chill, waiting for their beaters. Hopefully listen to us a little bit, allowing to work a little bit more with their beaters, taking their time. Nope, spoke too soon. Forced it again, took a high shot. Can't be doing it.
That's tough there. Not to play Chaser's advocate there, but that's tough. Demuth very easily survived an offensive attack there. Basically standing on their hoop base, dropped their ball, picked it back up, and then with no offensive dodgeball in sight, was able to go force that shot along with Steinberg's pressure. So
Also hard to keep your head when Andrew Steinberg's rapping you.
Exactly.
Loud man's making an impact.
I believe it was the first minutes for Abe Benningson in this series, new keeper for Boston.
Benningson with the ball again. A little give and go with Magner. Denies the pass. Runs across. Sends it deep to Richardson. Richardson looking for the shot. Just misses, but never mind.
Makes it.
Puts it through.
Oh,
Magner
good to
was
me.
there ready for the rebound if it didn't, but goal's a goal. I believe that is now 120-20. Waiting for the scoreboard to confirm it. Nope, I'm wrong. Sorry, still 110-20. I apologize.
I'm a little surprised by the clock management here from Charlotte. You need a timeout 5 possessions ago.
Yeah, they took it at pretty much the perfect time, exactly when I was going to recommend it.
Ooh, just missed.
Unfortunately, right now they're kind of just letting them play, and I really do think it's time to get a collecting, get a breather, try to throw a different look at Boston. This game is getting out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, there's different thoughts about it, right? If you can use it properly, you can get an extra long break before you get your best players in and flag runner on pitch. But the way I see it is if I let the game get out of hand before then, who cares that my players are rested? I just left them out to dry. What a move!
Magner.
Oh!
With the moves, with a beautiful shot that was right on target, unfortunately swallowed up by 21 on Charlotte, but incredible movement.
Yeah, I love that little step back. I've been trying to get her to teach me how to do that.
It's good ball movement from Womack in the back.
Oh, Benningson comes off broom on that tackle there.
Yeah, Boston getting away with a little bit of dirty pull there on that tackle. And does force the shot out again from Charlotte. A little bit off balance, a little bit before they want it. And once again, you get a shot just wide.
Yeah, execution-wise, that one's barred down from Benningson. Their first goal of the season. Boston defensively is getting into their depth a little bit, but they're also getting away with some things execution-wise that they're a little bit lucky, right? We talk about the game speeding up, maybe rushing your decisions, throwing off execution on the offense's part a little bit. doesn't mean you're not giving up open shots. And against other teams or later in this game, in this series, those could come back to bite you. Definitely got to be able to guard your center hoop on defense.
Oh, Davis now in a keeper.
I think we know for sure that Charlotte is starting to feel the pressure here because they've got Davis in, like you said, as a keeper. Have been playing beater minutes so far this series. Looks like they're feeling that pressure and even trying to assert themselves a little bit different.
Womack beat by Collier. Here comes Richardson.
Big time hit.
Loses the ball in the hands of Magner and Benningson. Benningson!
Oh man, the hustle is here today. Boston is putting in that effort. Every single one of their players is fighting for loose balls. I am not sure they've missed an offensive rebound in game 2.
That chaser line of Delk, Magner, Benningson, and Richardson is scrappy.
Really, really, really tough to play defense in the open field. Even tougher to have to play it twice, right? You got the privilege of one stop. You got to be the first one to the ground. If you're an away team in this league, everyone you're playing is just too tough, just too good to not have the.
Oh, there goes
energy.
Magner. Nobody in their way.
Yeah, Teddy, I'm pretty happy with my pick for favorite player in game 1. Showing out here in game 2. Magner with the stop on defense, collects the ball before Davis can get to it, and after a quick beat on Davis, drives coast to coast for another goal, putting Boston ahead 140-20.
Wow, you're prophetic. Who could have seen that based on game 1, they would score a nice goal in game 2. No communication from Charlotte right now. You can even pin drop. Great play by Davis on the wing.
Man, a beautiful hit from Mayer on Davis. Allows a turnover. Olazaba with a quick pass to Doyle. And I think Doyle, Olazaba, and Lawrence were racing each other to get to hoops first. Doyle gets there, gets the goal. 150-20 Boston leads.
The difference in body language right now is absolutely palpable as Boston looks to set up a press that they are not hiding at all. They got everyone in mark coverage right now, looking to create turnovers on a ball through the air. And like I said, the body language on these two sidelines is staggering right now. Boston engaged, Charlotte looking at the clock basically.
Oh, nice dodge.
Physicality from Boston again showing up. Olazaba with a hit on Davis right at the midfield line, right at the keeper zone line, forcing a pass back and allowing the beaters to get back into play. Once they do, they clean it up, give another transition opportunity to Doyle. Doyle puts it through. 160-20 Boston leads.
My goodness.
Dillman just cleaning out the Charlotte defenders, even though there's nothing to defend from right now.
Dillman has the scope out right now. Dillman, who we also talked to in our pregame interviews before the series, Dillman, who said, she believes this team can reach their high ceiling if they're able to adequately incorporate their young players, who I'd say they've done a good job of doing so far this
And
series.
Dillman just turns the ball over basically themselves for an Olazaba goal.
Yeah, I think Dillman and Collier had a bit of a chip on their shoulder after that first game, right? Charlotte was able to keep up with them a little bit in the beginning. Not so much game 2. They took some notes, they regrounded, and it has been staggering the impact the two of them are having this game.
170-20 at timeout.
Yeah, I do think this might be a little bit too little too late from Charlotte. This timeout feels...
Oh, this is the 20-minute timeout.
No,
I think this is a
an actual
timeout.
It's a timeout Charlotte's taking at about, I would guess, 17, 18 minutes in.
Okay.
Really does feel a little bit too late at this point.
Yeah, again, so you get a little bit of an extra rest when you're going to need it, but you dug yourselves quite a hole. And at this point, if you're Charlotte, right, you try to win every game. The only way you have any chance at winning this game is if you do what you try to do in every situation, which is what Coach Cody LeBeau said earlier. Do the little things right. Go about the process the right way. This isn't a time as a coach to get in the hustle and ream everyone out. They can see the scoreboard. They know what it feels like. we've all been in huddles like that where you are not the better team in that particular game. Being gloom and doom is not going to help. You focus on what's going well, try to keep doing it, and then you go back to these are the fundamentals we need to improve on. Set yourself reasonable expectations and build some positive momentum across one play at a time.
And even if it's not momentum, at least positive energy right now, right? We talked about the body language, we talked about the sidelines, right? Boston's hype, Charlotte's down. Like, regardless of how this game ends, there's a game 3.
Yes.
If I take the rest of this series, or take the rest of this game, get regrounded on your fundamentals, make a couple stops, make a couple goals, and give yourself some momentum going into game 3. Get your head on your shoulders and be confident that you can take it to them for the last game of the series.
If I was Charlotte, I would focus on just trying to play our game and make some half courts. I think the Charlotte can only benefit from slowing down the pace of the game, both on offense so they can get some good looks, and on defense so they can stop Forge from just driving all over them.
Right, and so Forge is doing a good job. Coach Harry Greenhouse, I think, has been pushing a lot of good buttons in terms of personnel, as well as switching up the defensive assignments. We saw them in 2-2 a lot. We saw them with 2-2 or 2 at the hoops with a mark in the back. They've been in full mark, full press. As they try to do that, you don't want to get in a long distance beating range against the Boston beaters at any point in their depth chart. You need to just get back into winning 2-on-1s, right? Any beater can at least play with parity if they have 2 going against 1. So get your chasers behind your beaters, keep the field in front of you, make easy passes, and allow your beaters to just open up one space at a time rather than trying to, outgun every beater in a one-on-one battle while you don't have control.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think if I'm Charlotte, you gotta stop running at the point defenders.
And Doyle just stopped Davis in their tracks.
The physicality from the point chasers on Boston is terrifying.
And that's 20.
There's our 20-minute mark. I believe the score right now for all those at home is 170-20 going into a 20-minute stop.
Yeah, tough spot right now. I mean, Charlotte has a newer coaching staff. Just because they manage their time differently than I would doesn't mean they did a bad job. But it's hard to say they're doing a good job. And listen, they're outgunned right now. It's a 3-game series, like we talked about before. You're looking to build momentum. Give yourself something to build on, because you don't want to come out here and have a team that's just going to roll over for a 3rd game. These individual wins are the difference between seeding in the division, seeding at championships, your ability to reach your goals as a team going forward. And they set good examples for the younger players as well. So again, you just simplify the game, right? I think right now it looks like they got a herd of angry wildebeests coming at them from the Boston side. It feels like the field is way too big to cover on defense and way too shrunk to do anything with on offense. And that comes with being reactionary rather than being the aggressor, right? And you can be the aggressor without playing fast, without trying to always throw first. You can block, you can dodge, you can whatever. But the biggest thing is go play together. Don't break the chain, meaning if you're two beaters trying to get control back, don't be too cute about it. Just go win a double team. Be physical in the beater game. Make it tough for them to make a throw at your quad ball players. And in the quad ball game, set your screens, make reasonable passes on the hands, and then you'll be able to force rotations. But right now, Boston is making Charlotte reactionary, and that's just a bad sign if you're trying to come back in a game that you're down.
100%. One other thing to note with Boston right now is switching back and forth between that mark and that zone. Very awesome to see. Very happy to see them with that fluidity. Being able to turn it on a dime, show different looks, challenge the offense of the other team to think differently, play to play, is going to be really, really powerful tool for the rest of this season when they're fighting for an East Division title.
It's difficult in any sport to change strategy play to play, so Boston's been doing it really well.
Yeah, I like that it's built into their identity. If you look at the USQ season, one of my thoughts on Pandas specifically, which not all these players are from Pandas, but is that they don't turn other teams over enough. Even when you get stops, you don't get easy looks out of it. You got to fight for everything. They're doing a much better job of that today, and it's good to see that Coach Harry Greenhouse has put switching defenses into a part of their identity rather than trying to be cheeky and save it for New York or championships.
Seekers will be Tremple for Boston and Bonadio for Charlotte.
Great finish on the other end by Peter Lawrence, high through the middle hoop.
Our flag runner doing a lot better this game too, realizing the strength of the Seekers, is ready, being physical, putting a lot of good throws out there. However, in the meantime, Boston has already put 2 on the scoreboard and leads 190-20.
They only need 4 more, whereas Charlotte needs 21.
That's a long climb up for Charlotte.
Oh boy, and that's another one for Tremple. The man is on fire. 2 games, 2 catches. Oh, hitting us with that too strong.
Oh.
Boy, do I love to see it out of Tremple.
Flex for the cameras, and that is too fresh and too clean from Tremple. Number 5 there. Classic, single leg shot. Well executed. I'm sure Coach Harry Greenhouse can tell you a lot about that move.
But you heard the audible, oh, come on, from Crawford, just frustrated out there as a flag runner, doesn't know what to do with the physicality and the length of Tremple.
Yeah, in his defense, he made Tremple work a little bit harder this time.
Yeah, it wasn't a 5-second this time.
Oh, both teams got their chances on that one. But Boston, without dodgeball control, was able to open up an opening for Tremple there. A little bit of a miscommunication by the Charlotte Beaters, and at this level, you miscommunicate, you're going to pay.
Unfortunately, there was a foul in the beater game that happened at the same time as the catch. Tremple did nothing wrong. We love him. Beautiful catch, completely legal. But that foul from the beater is going to overturn it.
Just got to do it again.
Just going to have to go right back to work.
If you're Charlotte, utilize this second chance opportunity, make the most of it. A lot of bodies around the point right now. Expect to see a high ball screen. We'll see if they can convert it.
There's no 3-second count there. There's supposed to be a 3-second count. But that's okay.
Oh.
Rules are tough. Another stop from Boston. They're getting ready for an offense. If they're able to convert here, that will put them in range for a catch to win the game.
That was a good shooting opportunity from Ryan Davis in the quad ball game, but better defense from Doyle to turn the shoulders right as Davis was trying to shoot. That made the shot go low.
Ozaba loses their broom as they receive the ball. It happens to the best of us.
Great hustle there from Charlotte. Good job finishing in transition. That was
Davis to Brooks.
Brooks late in the game, played a lot of minutes so far. Ran by Doyle on that one. I'm usually one to sing Doyle's praises. Doyle thought they had it covered, and as it turns out, they did not, as that pass went right by their hand.
New Seekers. Tremple's out for Richardson, and Cruz is in for Charlotte.
And Boston's beaters immediately open up some space, so Richardson's going to get the first look they want.
Whoa!
Again, just shy of the catch.
Could be.
However, while that's going on, Boston with another goal off of a beautiful shot puts them up 200-30, 3 points away from the win for Boston here in Game 2.
Wow, close by Cruz.
Good attempt there by Cruz. Boston defending high in the defensively in the flag runner game.
Great defense by Lawrence and Mayer. Never mind, not great defense by Lawrence. They're going to get a yellow card for that.
And here's my hot take. That still was. That's a foul that you can take in this situation. Score in time. Don't let them have anything easy. Make them restart. Let your defense. It's a lot easier to play defense off of a restart than it is live.
And that's a goal for Charlotte.
Nicholas Thompson, number 54.
And that's one where if you don't make that foul, you're still giving up a goal. So at least give your team a chance to get a stop there. You're not in foul trouble. You're not up against it score-wise. I like the physicality.
And Boston answers on the other end, putting our score at 210-40. Again, set score is 230 for this game.
Richardson was in more of a defensive seeking position in that instance. We'll see if they try to take their shot here as they got an opening.
Yeah, should get a free look right now.
Richardson not getting into the post with the stronger Crawford.
Trading of beats there gives Charlotte an opportunity for a second. However, not quick on the pickup, doesn't actually get to commit that look.
I like the high ball screen right there from Charlotte. A really good play that should have resulted in a goal, but was for naught due to a pass that didn't connect.
And now Lawrence.
Davis did their best to get in Lawrence's way, but Lawrence is just too fast.
Too fast, too strong. Score is 220-40. Boston leads. Tremple back in it.
And a catch by Tremple.
With a third catch in 2 games.
If that's good, that's it.
Only 2 of them count, but I'll tell you what, Tremple's been a closer for Boston so far. They're only playing in the flag runner game. And shame on me, I guess, for counting out my own former teammate. Putting on a clinic right now. But as we all know, the beaters do the hard work when it comes to flag runner on pitch. The seekers get the glory, chasers get the glory, but the beaters do the hard work.
I want to shout out Aaron McCready especially. I saw them trying to pull off, trying to force a legal swat by the Charlotte seeker.
Beautiful end of the game. That is going to do it for us on game 2. Boston wins 255-240, closing with another catch. Steven said, get me back in. I want one more look. He got it, and he ended the game. Let's go right into favorite players. That's going to be mine for this game. It's going to be Tremple. I'm loving the catches. I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the closing. Historically speaking, Boston, when they are winning championships, they're doing it with catches on their side. And so I love seeing the energy, seeing the commitment, and seeing just the complete dominance out of Tremple in these 2 games. On the flip side, from Charlotte, favorite player this game, I think, has got to be, I'm going to give it to Thompson, honestly.
Which Thompson? Nicholas or Zachary?
Zach Thompson, 73. Had a little bit of struggles here and there with some passes, but was the spark for quite a few drives offensively. Got the first goal of game 2, just like they did in game 1. Really appreciate the hustle there. I think if they can calm down a little bit in game 3, rein in those passes, they can be a spark plug for the Charlotte offense.
Give me on the Charlotte side, give me Caleb Brooks. As a coach, one thing you like to see is hustle no matter the situation, right? We talk about, winning is a symptom of putting the work in. A quote that I'm going to go back to from Cody LeBeau a lot in my personal life because I'm kind of a nerd like that. But I like the play in the flag runner on pitch game, or maybe it was right at the end, maybe it was right before, but outrunning Doyle on just a streak, tall hoop to tall hoop. Doyle thought that they were close enough to deflect the pass. They were not. That's just an example of running by somebody because you want it more. Brooks has been playing a lot of minutes, taking a lot of hits, being physical, trying to be a leader on offense. And that's an instance where you got to reward the effort. That's my pick on the Charlotte side. On the Boston side, give me Leanne Dillman. What a response, right? One of the leaders in Boston in plus-minus last year. One of the leaders in Boston in plus-minus the year before that, the year before that, the year before that, until we get back to 2016. Just an absolute stud at the top of her game. World-renowned, world-class talent. And didn't look as perfect in the first game of the season as she's looked in the past, but still had a major impact, especially in her second shift. And this game came in and just closed the door, was making beats for fun, was making long beats for fun. You know you're hot when you hit a 20-yard beat off somebody's broom just to play with the third dodgeball. That was nonsense. They absolutely slammed the door when that line came in. So give me Leanne Dillman on the Boston side.
For Charlotte, I'll go Melissa Ross. I think she was making a lot of really great cuts, getting open behind hoops, and also just the insane screen that knocked Zach Doyle flat on the ground to get a goal in the early part of that game there. I love a good screen, and that's maybe the best one I've seen in a while. And then for Boston, this might be cheating, but I'm going to take the entire line of Benningson, Magner, Delk, and Richardson. They just showed a lot of hustle as like Boston's third or fourth chaser line. And if you can turn around that many fast breaks as the third line, then you're doing something right.
Yeah, the young guns really showing out, and that was one of the question marks we had about Boston coming into this season, coming into the series was, okay, you have all the experience on the beating side, you got depth there, but you keep eroding away players that have won championships and replacing them with young bucks. How is it going to work out? And the kids have been playing well so far for Boston today.
Magner has done nothing but impress in her MLQ debut.
Which, if you want to see more of Magner, you should check out Shots by Sam on the MLQ Network, a vlog series. Kind of goes along with the Cuts by Nivs. Just a really great piece of content and something that you should definitely head over to the MLQ Network and check out.
And speaking of good content, got to shout out Diaza. Saw quite a few people in the chat loving the jerseys this year. We've got fresh alternates for every single team in the league. If you like what you're seeing, if you want new jerseys for a different team, please hit up Diaza. They're doing fantastic work.
Yeah, you got to go copy one. Anyway, we are going to send it to mute for a little bit. Check in with us in, I don't know, 15 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to try and grab a Charlotte player for an interview this time around.
All right, so check back in a few minutes. You'll see us in front of the camera. So that's the time to unmute your TV, stop folding your laundry, and check back in with us.
Thank you. All right, everybody, we're coming back to you with another post-game interview. This time we're going to have Melissa Ross from Charlotte. Thank you all for joining us. We'll hop in front of the camera. We'll be real loud for you. Come on over. There we go. Thank you for joining us. I want to start out by giving you a little bit of a shout out. You were my favorite player of Game 1, or Cameron Daniels of Game 2. Incredible stuff. Truly phenomenal to watch. Also in Game 1, pulling the ball out of the air from square and falling for the goal was incredible to watch. Loved it. Second game, putting Doyle on his ass with that beautiful screen. Incredible stuff. I'm going to turn over the first question to Teddy.
Yeah, so just to touch on where you guys are at mentally right now, what kind of things are going on in the
We're trying to, we're continuing and making sure that we're going into game 3, like a new game, not really. I guess we're trying to keep the communication up and just have a fresh start for this game.
Appreciate it. Communication, physicality are fundamentals every team in the league can learn from. Something we were talking about a little bit in that one stream was getting back to basics. So I love that we're hearing that from you. Next question for you. Boston, that second game, was throwing different looks defensively, right? They started out in the zone Game 1. Game 2, they threw a little bit more of that mark at you all. What do you do on offense as a chaser to think through approaching different defenses?
Yes, so I guess we try to make sure that we're communicating and even if you don't have a goal that you're getting involved in the play, just try to stay open and open up
I think the rest of the league can take notes on things. Something Teddy has been pretty high on his entire career. Love seeing him from you all. Would love to see him more in general.
While the flag runner was on, I thought you guys got a lot of good looks out of that situation. And then last thing, right, it's still early in the season. Obviously, every player tries to take things one game at a time. But what are you thinking in terms of progressing for you and for the team, not just in this game, but going forward?
Yeah, so I guess that we're looking to, like I said earlier, like be physical on defense and keep communicating with each other. I know we have a lot of new players, so some of them like the first game. So I guess practicing and getting our plays together and making sure that everyone is kind of getting involved in plays and setting picks, like I said. And yeah, just looking forward for the rest of the season.
Awesome. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck in Game 3. Good luck with the rest of the season.
All right, we will hop back behind.
Hop back behind. Sorry if that was a little quiet, everybody. Trying to get as many people on camera as we can for you so you can see their lovely faces. We'll continue to try to be real loud with our guests. But that is our post-game interview for Game 2. For anybody who couldn't hear, just a general summary. Really want to focus in on communication, physicality, setting screens, getting back to basics. Melissa Ross put on a clinic first game, had incredible hustle, did an amazing, amazing pick Game 2. We love it. We want to shout her out. So thank you for watching that. Sorry if you couldn't quite hear her, but that's our interview for Game 2. We will go back to mute for now and get back to you all in about 5-10 minutes when this game kicks off.
All right, we're back.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. We are getting ready for Game 3 here of the Boston and Charlotte series. Boston so far has won the first 2 in pretty convincing fashion. Teddy, as you're thinking through this final game, what do you want to see out of Boston?
I mean, if you're Boston, you really don't change very much. One thing I really like is mixing it up on defense. I've always been a fan of that. Sometimes you don't even have to execute properly, which I guess we did see them do several times. Charlotte was missing open shots. Boston has the hustle factor going. They have the physicality factor going, and that's helping cover up a couple of instances where they are leaving hoops open. But them flying around, making Charlotte react by changing the defensive look, being aggressive with their beaters. They're playing straight to the game plan, and they're not trying to hide anything, which I always think is good. I don't like when teams get cheeky and they look ahead to a future series and they're like, oh, we're going to keep this in our back pocket, because what that means is now you're just not running it as much. Yep. So I like that they're out here imposing their will, being themselves, rather than trying to be a chameleon or sneak around or anything like that. So if you're Boston, you really don't change anything. You make sure that you come out and you win the first 5 minutes just the same way that you did in Game 2. Make sure that this Charlotte team doesn't have the energy to get out of bed and that they just get ready to go home.
Yeah, no, I think you said it perfectly right. Like, we're seeing a little bit of those stumbles here and there from Boston defensively as they're transitioning from one defense to the other. Work that out right now. You've got a 2-0 series. You've blown the door handles off twice. Use this time, get it right, get ready, and show the rest of this division that you're here to fight for the rest of this season.
And if you're Charlotte, this is where teams are made, right? Good teams play good, great teams overcome adversity. If you're Charlotte right now, you're facing adversity. One of the nuggets we got from Melissa Ross in our interview between games was they're trying to just essentially bury what just happened, move on, forget about it. Game 3 is a new game. And that's the perfect mentality, right? That's why you play 3. You don't just play 1. The entire idea is move on, go back to basics, and use the fact that you're in a tie game to your advantage right now.
Starting lines for either side. For Charlotte, we'll have Woodard at keeper with White, Slaminski, and Zachary Thompson at chaser, with Davis and I believe that is probably Bonilla again at beater. For Boston, same line that has started all 3 games. Olazaba, Mayer, Richardson, Lawrence, Ufuk, and Collier.
And Richardson, for the 3rd straight game, just so fast off that brooms up with the quaffle in hand, pass it over to Olazaba. Olazaba with a physical dunk, and that is 1-0. Boston making a statement to start Game 3.
Charlotte able to grab dodgeball control off the rip. Let's see if they can use it to their advantage. One thing that's important as a player or coach, don't get caught up in the results of brooms up. Go play your game. It's just 1 game, 1 goal, just like the whole rest of the situation.
Thompson, for the 3rd straight game, gets the first goal on the board for Charlotte. That time off a beautiful ripped shot. 10-10 tie game, Boston ball.
It's exactly what we were just talking about, right? Don't overreact to 1 goal. Play within yourself, and if the defense is giving you something, take it. Fantastic rip right there. Way to come out and be aggressive.
I could be wrong, but I believe Charlotte's running out of beater that we have not seen yet. Stephanie Peck, number 16. Let's see if they can bring something that Charlotte's been missing so far.
And a good tribute off on Collier behind hoops there. Unfortunately overshadowed by a foul chaser game. Got no result. It might actually be okay, because I think they're going to keep budget control from it. We'll see if Dillman is able to bring some chaos here before.
Keeper headband goes to Thompson.
Lawrence looking to be physical.
Gonna get control back for Boston and allow for a beautiful goal with no dodgeballs on defense. That is 2010 Boston leads.
Mayer with the great ball screen there. Excellent job of executing in a situation with no dodgeballs in front of you. Something I hope to see a lot more from both of these teams when given the opportunities this game.
Thompson heading down the field now with the keeper headband on.
Trees defense from Boston.
Looking to take away that shot from Thompson.
Yeah. See one shot and immediate reaction, closing it down. Thompson taking a little handoff, running down the wing against Olazaba.
Oh, gets past Olazaba.
Gets past Olazaba. However, Olazaba comes right back. Unfortunately, it looks like he's putting a little physical contact from behind. I think that might get called. It's going to be a turnover right back to Charlotte.
Good job by Thompson. It's not always advisable as a coach to some players to switch hands with the ball like that, but by doing so was able to keep the ball arm free, keep the ball moving. Looked like the head ref Chris Lecomte had a foul on the way, but they have a discussion right now. We'll see.
Yeah, behind the back on Olazaba.
Yeah.
It's the second game in a row we've seen someone from Charlotte committing to a drive, getting past Boston, getting them a little bit flat-footed, and it resulting in an immediate behind-the-back tackle, or just strip in this case, or contact. Want to make sure Boston keeps that a little bit under reins. I know we talked about smart fouls at the end of the last game. That isn't one of them.
Yeah.
Right? Let them run through, let them get around hoops, and don't take fouls this early in a game.
Yeah.
Collier looking to set up the block by throwing the dodgeball through the hoops. I wish Thompson would have ripped that shot because I wanted to see if Collier could pull that off.
Yeah.
It was good patience, though. Use a ball fake and got an open shot, just missed it.
Unfortunately, it's going to be a turnover. Thompson not happy, thought there was a tip from the Boston defense, but it's going to be Boston offense. Collier opening a lane for Lawrence to drive through. Lawrence takes a shot, just misses, but Doyle with the pickup, does a little dribble to himself, doesn't pass the ball off just yet, forces the defense to look at him too long, then gets the pass when it's open to Lawrence, the pass right back to Doyle. A beautiful give and go, give and go. That's going to put Boston up 30.
Yeah, we call that the give and go, I believe. Either way, it's a beautiful game when it's played like that. Would like to see better physicality from the Charlotte defense. Ended up kind of during the wrap standing up rather than driving the legs to make sure that you stayed wrapped instead of just kind of playing an arms game and allowing Doyle to make that first pass.
Oh boy, a beautifully executed beat from Charlotte gets Mayer off of the wide hoop for Thompson to take another laser shot. He puts it through. Unfortunately, beaters get a little bit caught up in the beater play, as can happen, and Boston is able to answer that goal with a quick drive and a quick shot.
It looked like also mental error. Thompson ran off to sub while that fast break was happening, didn't turn around, and the keeper Brooks couldn't sub in fast enough to stop that drive. Not like it might have mattered, but
No, it's fair.
yeah.
Little things add up.
Yeah. One little thing I did like from Charlotte in that instance was the coordination between the beaters and chasers. Excellently timed beat on the hoops to open up a spot in that zone. My opinion, the best team doing that right now is Chicago in the North Division. But something where as a team switches up their defensive looks that they're playing against you, as now you have Boston and Mark, it gives you more opportunities to score.
Yeah, I'm surprised Thompson subbed out after they found a way to break the three trees defense on that last position. I would have thought they would at least want to get another look at that.
Couldn't be me, but sometimes when the coach calls you off, you have to sub.
True.
So hustle play from Boston defensively. Olazaba able to draw a beat and allow that quad ball to go over the midfield line for a reset. Going to get the ball back in the hands of Boston. They start an offensive drive up 40-20. Lawrence sends it wide to Olazaba. Olazaba taking time behind Collier. Collier sends a dodgeball into open lane. Olazaba sends it deep to Doyle. Doyle takes a friendly fire beat, now a real beat. Olazaba able to pick up the ball, sends it right to Mayer, waiting at the short hoop, and puts it in instantly. A quick beat in transition from Dillman gives them a fast break. Lawrence picks it up, puts it through. That is 2 goals in about 15 seconds from Boston, putting them up 60-20.
And Dillman is all smiles right now. Absolutely on fire as Boston looks to set up another high press. Dillman said before the game they wanted to focus in it before individual series on making sure they respect their opponent without letting it make them get too conservative. She's certainly not playing too conservative right now. She's absolutely in her bag.
Mayer with the ball on offense, sends it to the center for Lawrence. Lawrence looking, waiting. Peters to open the lane, sends it behind the hoops to Doyle. Doyle puts a little shake and bake on the keeper and puts it right through the top hoop. 70-20, Boston leads.
Rare overhanded score from Doyle there.
A strong finish from the kid after a little spin cycle. Good job being patient and attacking a more condensed trees look. Good job by the beaters to make it condensed. You got to see more physicality if you're going to play trees like that and give up that much space for Charlotte.
Speaking of physicality, Sticky Fingers is back on the pitch. Max just walks up and peels that dodgeball out of the hands of Charlotte to get control for Boston. Uses it immediately to force pressure. Gets a turnover. Quad ball back in the hands of Boston. Olazaba bringing it up the pitch.
I like seeing my former teammate, Emily Frollo, in the green headbands and this look for Boston. Been mostly white so far in this series, but a strong MLQ debut for her so far.
Frollo sends it wide to Olazaba. Olazaba draws a beat, sends it to Doyle. Doyle finishes easily over the defense. 90-20.
Just more of being reactive.
80-20 Boston.
Doyle almost gets the tip there.
Good hustle there by Doyle.
Brooks sends it deep for Charlotte. Olazaba is there to swallow up with an immediate tackle. Mayer comes in to help, and Frollo falls on the loose ball that squeaked out. Easy defensive stop for Boston.
And just another instance on those two possessions of Boston being the aggressor, whether it was the Doyle tip or the offensive half court before that, and Charlotte being reactive. It's too hard to win a game like that.
Nice stop there by Brooks.
Fortunately, Olazaba looked like a little bit of an ankle injury there at the end of that defense. Had to sub out, resulted in Boston being down and chaser for that half court. They looked a little lost without the player. I don't think they realized that that injury sub was happening. Went a little bit too fast.
Let's see.
Bit of a mental misstep there from a veteran in June. Legal dodgeball interaction on the third bludger. Going to result in a turnover of all dodgeballs to Charlotte. That mixed with the stop they just had is going to give them the first control-oriented offense they've had in a couple of sessions.
Not just a control offense, but oh wait, no.
No, just a control.
Just control, yeah.
No penalty time for the dodgeball interference.
Now, if you're Charlotte, the key here is to use it to get yourself opportunities without overextending and giving it right back.
Oh, Steinberg subs in without a headband, but he is the keeper.
My goodness.
Ross there looking to set a beautiful screen, doing exactly what you talked about. Unfortunately, Steinberg, being the lunatic that he is everywhere on the pitch, ready to swallow up the pass coming off the screen.
Hands like magnets.
Oh.
Rip.
Shot is a little bit long, but Steinberg's got the hustle trying to run it down. Pressures Brooks, but Peters protects Brooks from any harm.
Good rip by Magner. And you got another quick sub here as Frollo's back in for Boston.
Back to that white headband.
Looked like Magner came in just to get the keeper chaser switched back to Steinberg.
Yeah.
Nice hustle there by Cruz.
Cruz puts on the shimmy shake, gets through Frollo and Steinberg to get another goal on the board for Charlotte. 80-30.
Put that on the highlight reel.
Steinberg to Skura. Skura, while being wrapped, can't quite get the ball off. A deep pass back from the dodgeball to Lebov's going to get this cleared out for Charlotte. It's going to be Boston ball. Or sorry, Charlotte ball.
Great play by Cruz on both ends here. Shake and bake, a little finesse finish on the medium-sized hoop, comes down with a big tackle and the strip. Great job by Charlotte.
Skura takes himself directly to the box. I think he knows what he said.
Yeah, I think Skura may have gotten a little worked up on that hit. Didn't love the contact that was being shown there. Not confident. He wasn't confident with Skura.
Talking through it with Coach Harry Greenhouse in the box right now. They have obviously a long relationship. Harry being his teammate back when Skura was just a young pup all the way in 2017 to now Skura being at the top of the game in the whole league right now.
High press defense from Steinberg and Zhu is going to result in a quick set of passes from Charlotte that do not connect. Going to be eaten up by Hickmott and Frollo. Emily's together in action, taking down these loose balls.
I wasn't sure who Ross was passing to there. If I was them, I would have driven.
Yeah, I think they just got a little afraid. There's too many guns for Boston running right at you.
That's true. I wasn't considering playing against the Boston defense. I might have tried to pass to a teammate. Yeah.
That is the thing. When you're the aggressive party, the game speeds up and your decision making is worse for your opponent.
Skura and Cruz on the 1v1. Cruz a little bit stronger, able to power through, gets it in. That's going to be a goal for Charlotte. That should put the score at 80-40, I believe.
Cruz is on fire right now. Love the way that they're playing. Just look really loose, playing aggressively, really trying to be the hammer.
Rare to see a player turn on the afterburners in the third game of a series.
Yeah, and maybe that's just settling in, or maybe it's just getting out of your head and letting it fly because you got nothing else to lose, but I love to see it.
Boston had another beautiful goal there, a deep pass to Steinberg. Steinberg powering through, putting it in. Unfortunately, while that chaos happened, that was opened by Havlin and Lulu. They were not able to get back on defense. Charlotte capitalizes with a quick hustle play, and it is now 90-50.
Nice fast break there by Hale.
Charlotte putting up a really great fight here in Game 3.
Braxton Hale, one of the new additions to the coaching staff this year. An extra shout out from LeBouve about getting everyone motivated in practice and doing a great job pushing the squad all season long so far.
Skura finds
hiding
amongst the Charlotte defense.
Great call there by Hickmott.
Threads the pass, immediate catch, immediate put away. Boston up 100-50. Davis caught unaware by Havlin, an immediate beat at mid-pitch. Another beat on the chaser is going to allow for a fast break from Steinberg, and Steinberg's going to put it in 110-50. Wow, the caster's curse is real this game. Every time I say something, they prove me wrong. Charlotte immediately letting up those two goals.
Charlotte had both beaters back at their hoops, but neither of them had a dodgeball.
Yeah,
Thankfully, though, Charlotte is going to pump the brakes real quick here, take the timeout, reground. I'm happy to see that coming earlier than it did in Game 2.
Yes.
Hopefully, it has a little bit better effect than it did in Game 1.
No, yeah, perfect timing for that, right? You're there with them. You're in a 8-5 game, like, you know, probably a little higher scoring than you want at that point, but you don't hate it. You know, and then boom, in the blink of an eye, game's getting away from you. I like calling a timeout there. Get the group back together. You know, and go back to playing together, getting those beats on players in the back of the zone, and letting your playmakers make plays in open space. So hopefully that's something they're going over in the Charlotte huddle, because I really like that. And then one thing I want to point out, we can physically see Harry Greenhouse being extremely animated, easily the person with the most energy on this entire field. They spent the last defensive possession literally screaming about finding their marks. The loudest person in the whole place right now is Harry Greenhouse. Somebody who knows something about making sure you're executing at the highest level every single play of every single game. That's what he wants to make sure they do. He's not worried about they can't lose the series. He's not too worried about losing the game, right? But he wants to make sure that everyone is on their P's and Q's and you're getting better in every instance. That's where you get the passion coming from. So I like that from the coach on that side.
As somebody who's coached by Harry, I must say his energy is infectious, both on and off the pitch. Always keeping his players pumped up and ready to play.
Communication wins defense. I love seeing it. I love him driving it with his team. It's a beautiful game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, him screaming results in an Andrew Steinberg pick 6. Right, you know, so.
Yeah.
And Steinberg's got magnets in his hands or something. I don't know. The madman himself, Andrew Steinberg, just leaving no rebounds. There's nothing. Every deflection is caught.
Taking notes from Harvard teammate Leo Freed and just pulling down every ball in the air.
That's right. Leo Freed, I think, holds the record for most Ivy Leagues played on in USQ at 2. Former Brown product, obviously a national champion with Harvard this past year.
Charlotte coming out of the timeout with a quick drive. Pass gets immediately wrapped up. Oh.
I think that might have been behind the back.
Again, we're seeing it, right? If Charlotte's able to get a few steps ahead of Boston, Boston is still trying to be physical, and they're eating up these behind-the-back fouls. They're getting yellow cards for them.
Yeah, that's a little bit of oh crap defense right there. Hickmont gets run by the cutter. Great cut by the Charlotte player. That's Hale, I believe. And then when somebody goes by you, a lot of the time your first reaction is to foul them. But hey, in this instance, it saved an immediate goal and will probably create a shorthanded one.
Yeah, unfortunately for Charlotte, 2 very quick beats.
Oh, wow, what a block by Hale!
Beautiful block through the hoops by Hale.
Womack shoots!
And a shot from deep from Womack does not go in, it appears, but collects his own rebound, doing everything he can. Unfortunately, it looks like got a little overexcited there, sent the pass back up high. It does go over midfield, and it is going to be a reset.
Great energy there, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Good job by Frollo hustling back on defense, and good job by Zhu to get back into play. He was able to get 2 lead attempts off on that play, or at least 1, and then get back into it with their dodgeball.
Hale with the smart contact there, just slowing down Boston, making sure there's no fast breaks, letting his team get back on defense.
Hale playing great defense right now, both making highlight plays and practical plays.
I do love the way that Charlotte is responding right now. It looks like that conversation they had between games 2 and 3 has really kind of sunk in. They buried game 2. They're like, we're better than this. We can put better effort than this. Let's go spend more time as the aggressors in this game.
Unfortunately there, Boston Beater able to draw what appears to be an illegal swat from the Charlotte defense. We'll see what happens. But regardless of that interaction, yeah, that is going to be the illegal interaction. The question here is, was Lawrence's shot through the hoop, was it a goal before the whistle was blown? We are still waiting to hear. It appears they're calling no, so ball's going to be back in the hands of Will Richardson, who's looking to go right in for the top hoop on Ben.
If you're Richardson, give a shake and bake here based on Womack's positioning. Attack the right foot, go left.
Yeah. I was gonna say go for small hoop.
Yeah.
God, it's like he has a crystal ball. Calls out the shake and bake. Richardson does it to a T. Someone's following the script. That's another goal for Boston, 120 to 50.
That's all coaching. Taught him everything he knows. All right, go make. If you're a chaser in transition, go make that front foot step up so that you can change direction faster than the defender can flip their hips. Well done. Well executed. Fornash back in the game for Charlotte.
Nice move by Womack.
Boston forces some more errant passes from Charlotte. Lawrence able to wrap up Womack behind hoops. Going to be a turnover. Ball in the hands of Richardson for Boston.
I like the energy that Womack has brought to this game. A veteran of quadball for many years. Major driver of the sport in the Carolinas region.
Big fan of getting to play with that one slice this past season. Had a blast. They consistently bring the energy.
Hard hit by
they're here to help out and keep them.
Hard hit by Fornash, but Richardson keeps the ball.
Good physicality by Fornash.
If you make the hit, you got to make sure that the player loses the ball or at least stops in their tracks.
Yeah, stay on top of them, right? Just like we talked about several times already. You did all the work to get an opportunity for a stop. Make sure that you finish it with the ball in your hands. Don't give second chances.
100%.
And Fornash still a young player. Does a lot of great things. Obviously, big body, extremely strong, athletic player with a bright future ahead. But just some things to clean up.
Richardson got the goal there, yeah.
But I didn't look like it went on the scoreboard. Scoreboard currently reading 120 to 50. Richardson with another.
Oh, Richardson is beat from range.
Absolute snipe from number 7.
Keeper again is going to protect Hale for a few short seconds, but they got Lawrence staring him down as soon as they get out. Lawrence immediately making the hit, wraps up, trying to steal the ball. Unfortunately, looks like there are no Boston beaters on this end, so Lawrence will get beat. Hale will keep the ball. Charlotte starts.
That's
offense.
Bonadio cleaning things up for Charlotte right there, also with the snipe on Richardson.
Hale shoots a deep pass to 85. Unfortunately, a little bit outside of the wingspan. It's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be a turnover to Boston.
Slominski looks gassed right now, and that's a tough situation if you're Charlotte, right? The play kind of starts broken by the Lawrence tackle, but then it's not, right? Then you clean it up. Don't be sped up. Don't go
Force it.
Throw the ball away. Like, you got into your half court, you had an opportunity to go make something happen. It's tough to see a possession end that way. You can't afford to give away possessions in this league.
You really can't.
Oh, whoops! Almost a great play by Demuth. Demuth at only the second successful tackle on Peter Lawrence today.
And I think Demuth was off broom too.
Yeah, Demuth comes flying in, acting like they're gonna jump during a beater trade inside the offensive keeper zone. They throw the ball back in midair and just take the beat to create a no bludgers. And then just bad luck as Lawrence was going to drive in on the no bludger situation, but ran into Demuth instead.
Thankfully, it looks like they're both uninjured from it, laughing together on hoops, ready to play defense.
Austin back in the trees. Half.
Wow.
And Charlotte, once again, pulls out that beat on a chaser hanging out on short hoop and perfectly synced up with the shot. Gonna get a goal, 120-60. Boston still leads. However, Boston playing smart.
Was that Zach Thompson with the shot again?
Zach Thompson again.
Incredible accuracy.
And a beautiful defensive play from Thompson. Gets his hand in the passing lane from Richardson. Stops the pass from getting to Sierra. Gets a stop. Ball back in the hands of Charlotte.
Every single team in the league needs to run that play that Charlotte just ran.
Was that a goal by Thompson?
It went over the hoop.
Oh.
Over the hoop. Hit the top of the hoop. It bounced up instead of down.
Oh my goodness.
Could have been a highlight reel and a half for Thompson there.
I was just talking about Thompson's accuracy, but I didn't think he had it from his own keeper zone line.
Truly incredible. Boston leaders unfortunately have 3 balls all to themselves by keeping 2 on the ground and 1 in the hands of Havlin, allowing for dodgeballers defense to be played and easy goals for the Boston offense. They now lead 130-60. Havlin really just having a field day right now. I don't think Charlotte has had a dodgeball for a good 45 to 50 seconds.
Charlotte's in trouble right now.
Aaron finally picks up the ball to make sure the beat happens, but gets a beat off and therefore is allowed to again keep 2 on the ground for Boston. Charlotte still does not have any dodgeballs. Looks like the offense, though, unfortunately just misses the hoop. It's going to be a turnover to Charlotte. Ball in the hands of Thompson.
Skura missed the bunny on that one. And if you're on the Boston coaching staff here, great catch by Davis. If you're on the Boston coaching staff here, it's all fun and games with the beater game going on, but the chasers are not executing. That's terrible.
Thompson just floats one through. Boston is in a little bit of disbelief on whether or not that went through the hoop. It was a shot from midfield, so if it went in, incredible shot. I am not positive that it did, but that's why we have refs, and all 3 of them are talking about it.
For sake of the highlight reels, I do hope that went in.
Yeah.
Fair.
Hard to tell from here, but it was wide open. The shot was there. The kid is absolutely on fire.
Goal is good.
Goal's good. Hey, whether it went in or not, Boston, that's on y'all. All right, you're gonna leave a hoop wide open for someone who's just taken 3 shots. Get a hand up. Get a body in front of a hoop. You don't leave it in the hands of the refs to make a call. Like, get a body in front of a goal.
Yeah, no, Boston is absolutely letting go of the rope here, which was the one thing that you needed to not see from them if you're looking at this series as a measuring stick for where they could be nationally this season. And you'd like to see them get that mental focus back.
However, they're back scoring with a beautiful pass to Frollo, who catches in the air and puts it through the hoop. 140-70. They are scoring again. Let's hope they keep that energy.
I will say, in defense of Boston's defense, leaving the medium hoop open while Thompson is at half field is not a terrible idea, because I don't think anyone expected him to be able to make that shot.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't get any points in this league for expectations. You get points for
Results.
And that's a result you cannot live with, especially from a Team USA level player like Skura, and someone who is a very capable shot blocker.
Beautiful pass across the hoop. It's a little bit out of the range for Mayer, but Mayer beautifully,
Strong hands.
Wow.
beautifully driving through two defenders on Charlotte, passes it across, all making contact, gets it into the hands of Frollo, who slaps it just a little bit further to Abe. Abe puts it through. Boston up 150-70.
How about the lunch pails that Athena Mayer and Emily Frollo brought today? Mayer took a slap that got all ball, exclusively ball, held onto it, still made a pass, and then Frollo dug it out like a lacrosse player to make sure that she got the assist.
And we get an incredible tip from Doyle, putting the volleyball skills on full display. The loose ball is instantly picked up by Frollo, but that is our 20-minute time stop, so she will be denied the fast break for 2 minutes.
And as we head into the break here, just some things to think about. If you're on Boston's side, we touched about it a little bit. Don't let go of the rope mentally, right? It's all about mental focus and being able to execute the whole time, not just some of the time. They're a team with a lot of talent, a lot of depth, but not enough to take plays off. So if you're Harry Greenhouse, you're letting them know about that right now. This is a team with enough veteran presence on it right now. The vibes are going well enough that you can probably let them hear it in a huddle like this. You don't have to, be a kiss ass and be kind to them. Make sure you light a fire under them a little bit so that, hey, we got to still finish this game as strongly as we started, as strong as we finished the last game.
Absolutely. Just because you're up doesn't mean you can be lazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all about communication and being prepared. And then on the Charlotte side, I say I like the way that Thompson is playing right now. The beaters are doing a good job. Everybody is a lot more connected, so you really got to just keep preaching. Well, let's do that. I know I saw Davis in between games. Davis leading a little bit of the discussion in the huddle right now. We'll see if they get a chance to try to pull one here and keep this game close. But if you're Charlotte, just keep preaching. Don't get out hustled. Be the more physical team and keep being the aggressive team. Be the team that makes Boston react to you rather than the other way around. That's where they're having all of their success. And make sure that the communication and the timing between beaters and chasers stays good. Those shots that Thompson is ripping are because he's perfectly in sync with the beaters.
I think Charlotte has made the right adjustments. Like, as you said, getting the beaters in there to open up shots for Thompson. I also think we're seeing the ball run through different chasers than we normally have. Hale and Womack have made more of a difference in this game than they have in either of the previous two games.
Great. The energy's been great, right? They're not sitting back and having the game come to them. They're going out and they're making things happen, which are things that you like to see from the coaching staff here on the Charlotte Aviators. So we're in for a doozy here. We talked about the third key of the game for Boston was flag runner on pitch. Third key of the game for Charlotte was pulling flags. This game could turn on a dime if you end up with a flagpole going one way or the other.
We're going to see a rematch of the big seekers with Tremple and Cruz getting the start for their respective teams.
I like it. Seeking is a lot about matchups. And that could be a good matchup for them as Frollo finishes in transition.
Gets her fast break that was taken away by the 20-minute stoppage. And here come the Seekers.
Tremple not taking the 50-50 look. As in the quad ball game, you have Brooks looking to make something happen near hoops. A little bit low, ball down to Ross behind. Good pass in front that doesn't connect, and Olazaba
There's only one dodgeball
runway
on the field.
Olazaba finishes in transition. easiest one of the day.
And that's a catch by Cruz, sneaking past Havlin.
Sneaking around Crawford. A legit catch, and an exclamation mark so far on what has been a big game from Cruz. Davis pumped in. This could be exactly the momentum swing that Charlotte needed to climb back into this game.
Catch is good for Cruz. That'll make the score 180 to 105. Charlotte closing the gap by 3 goals there.
I hope nobody at home made the mistake I did of going to the bathroom during the stoppage. You might have missed that quick catch.
They got things started right away. Boston so far has put in 2 goals since flag runner on pitch started, and then you had Cruz with a catch while Crawford had his back turned. He kind of tapped the top of his head, looking at Havlin, was like, "Hey, my bad on that." Listen, I've snitched at this level before, and it is not easy, especially against these seekers. I have also given up a catch.
Wow, snipe beat on Brooks.
Yeah.
Easy goal for Olazaba.
That's why you gotta see where the beaters are at all times.
Max wasn't happy about how that catch turned out. He's like, well, I'm going to get one back if I can.
This field is playing small today. We've seen cross-field snipes from Dillman and Havlin and cross-field shots from Thompson.
Yeah,
And Demuth.
And Demuth.
Good weather to throw in. Of course, isn't it always? Stop out of the 3 trees there from Boston, and they're off and running. Oh.
Lawrence is terrifying at full speed. Absolutely on the foot, potentially, but definitely after the goal was already in. 200 to 100, Boston leads.
A mass of anger with a smile on her face. Not that they're an angry person, but my goodness, like I said,
Certainly play like it.
choosing violence, something you love to see.
They play like the Hoops have personally insulted them.
And every player between them and the Hoops. Oh.
Honestly,
Flick with
just
it.
encouraging contact from Charlotte there. Unfortunately, Charlotte with control chooses to throw both away at beaters while Lawrence is transitioning, leaving Lawrence free to sprint down, send a quick pass to Olazaba, and get another goal for Boston. They lead 210 to 100, only 1 goal away from a sweep in this, their opening series.
Boston back in the 3 trees, looking to get a stop and run out of it. Not easy to do with everyone condensed at Hoops, but if you're able to get a live ball turnover, it can work.
Charlotte looks to drive in, but unfortunately is deterred by just the size of Boston at the Hoops. Ends up sending a little bit of a floater pass over, setting it so high to get above Boston that they do not find the arms of their player, resulting in a big slowdown of the offense. As it gets reset, Boston keeps their shape and gets an easy turnover.
Good hands by Steady Eddie, Athena Mayer at Hoops, cleaning up the defensive possession.
Athena takes a beat right at mid-pitch. That opens up Lawrence and Olazaba to do what they do best. A quick pass, a quick dunk. That is game 3 in the books for Boston. 220 to 110 is your final score.
105.
105, great call. I do have to give some props to Charlotte, though. They came out and made it a game 3 for a while in the middle. They shook off that loss from game 2. They really did start to play to their advantages. They used their physicality. Thompson had a hell of a game, sent in shot after shot, which I love. But most importantly, and I think biggest thing they can continue doing for the rest of their season, they were able to isolate Boston's beaters and take their focus out of the chaser game so their chasers could execute.
Yeah.
If they can keep looking at their opponent's priorities and try to confuse them, try to muddy the water a little bit, and then use their physicality and bursts, use those shots when they're open, they can be a scary team.
Yeah, I love watching a team that plays on time, and when Charlotte was going well today, they played on time. When Boston was going well today, they got stops and ran in transition, which is what you expected to do. Everybody can do that. The other thing everybody can do is no matter who you have on the fields in terms of who you can bring to a tournament or a series or whatever, if your chasers and beaters play on time, play in sync, play together, it doesn't matter. It's easy opportunities to execute, and that was what was going really well for Charlotte offensively, and something you'd like to see carry forward for the rest of the season if you're the Charlotte coaching staff.
Yeah, I gotta say it one final time. The quick tap beat on a chaser on hoops followed by the immediate shot.
I loved it.
Timing was perfect. It was impeccable. They got a goal on that with a beater behind hoops waiting, knowing it was going to happen. They tried to block it with a dodgeball, knowing it was coming full steam ahead, didn't have a damn chance.
Yeah.
The timing was too perfect.
It helps when your accuracy is that good as well.
Sending those snipes.
Yeah, and that's a big part of this too is just the execution, right? And you know, in a sweep or whatever, you might not think it's that close, but in reality, all of these games are close at this level. And the difference is that today Boston was able to take advantage of the instances where Charlotte didn't execute. When Charlotte made a mistake, Boston took advantage more times than it went the other way, and that's the difference, right?
Yeah. I'm going to take the easy answer when it comes to personal favorites from Charlotte that last game. Thompson all the way for me. Just sending in shot after shot after shot. Again, he was my favorite game too. I do want to talk about one other player though. Hale over there was in the mists of kind of the lulls, the ebbs and the flows, was very consistent defensively, kept his head, got hands up, and transitioned really, really well into the offense. Quick hands, quick feet. Really appreciated both of their play.
And used the special power, the green headband, to get a great block through the hoop.
Yes.
Phenomenal block.
Put that on the highlight reel. Check out Quad and 5 in a couple days on the MLQ YouTube channel. That's going to be awesome.
On the flip side, favorite player of the game, that one for me is going to be Dillman. Just again, 2 straight games of long distance beats coming through. I love playing with her in the past. I love watching her now. Incredible game.
Yeah, I'd say in the on the Charlotte side, give me Cruz. Good game, couple of goals. Really was a spark plug. Did a good job to make sure that the game didn't get away from Charlotte at the beginning, right? I'm not sure that they ever led, but they really did a good job of making sure that they were able to stay on the board and keep the game in range for a bit there. A couple of great plays, one especially from my vantage point, the back right side by the medium-sized hoop. Shake and bake to a little finesse finish on a shot that's longer than it looks on camera. Between defenders, great job. Finishes off, extremely good job being physical in the quad ball defense game, something that we talked about a lot of what Charlotte needed to do, and it really helped them to get stops and go the other way. And then to top it off with a snitch bowl. Hey, listen, flag runner had their back turned. Doesn't matter, right? Like, they all count the same. That's 3.5 goals and one that Charlotte definitely needed. On the Boston side, I just had it, but a lot of good players on the Boston side. I'm gonna say give me Max Havlin.
Respect.
Max Havlin played great all 3 games. Always plays great. Person that you'd love to have on your team. You hate to play against. Seemed to play even better when he was a little frustrated about something not going his way. Immediately ripped a long beat that resulted in a goal after some frustration with the flag runner getting caught with his back turned. And just something where Max is so good. Been so good for so long. Can impact a game the entire time that he's out there. And it's good to see him and Zhu healthy again. And if you're a Boston fan, you really, really love seeing that. So I'm going to give it to Havlin for this game.
You took both my players, so I'm gonna switch over. I'll take Tony Bonadio for Charlotte. One of those beaters that made a strong transition and is also hitting some of those snipe beats from across the field. And also, I haven't taken a beater yet, so I feel like I should do that, so my chaser bias doesn't show too much. But yeah, I was really impressed with Bonadio and the entire Charlotte beater line for opening up those shots for Thompson, making adjustments. I think they had control longer in this game than they had in either of the previous 2 for certain stretches. And then for Boston, I'm going to take Athena Mayer, really showing off right at the end there with some great physicality, great hoops defender, and really a nice calming presence on offense to sort of anchor the team down, get some of those quick passes off, and take a drive every once in a while, showing off that great physicality.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. We do have hive mind because I said I forgot mine. Athena was mine.
Oh, there you go.
I was
Well,
gonna
all
talk.
right.
I was gonna reference that play with the strong hands. She's able to get it to Frollo, and Frollo digs it out for the assist or whatever. Also, several plays on the topic of Athena where Athena is in the right spot at hoops and doesn't get it first time, even though she was open and could have scored. Doesn't get it second time. Does end up getting it the third time, or ends up just saying, okay, I'm not getting the ball right now. I'll go set a screen, someone else can score. Does a lot of the unsung things that sometimes end up on a stat sheet, sometimes don't. Someone you can always rely on.
Last year, I was watching MLQ from home, and I'd never met Athena Mayer. I was a big fan of her watching on the streams. I got a little starstruck when I met her at Forge Tryouts this year, and rightfully so. She's an incredible player.
All right, and we're going to go into our final post-game interview with Leanne Dillman right now. Thank you for joining us, Leanne. We do have to talk very loud on this side of the camera, just so you know. Exactly.
As I whisper.
Yeah, right, as you whisper. No, it's good. First and foremost, love watching you play. I love getting to play with you in the past. The best part about not playing right now is I get to talk about you all the time on the screen. So, loving that, loving the action. I think you guys had a little bit of a rocky start that very first game, but then coming out game 2 and game 3, script was flipped. You guys look like a different animal. You specifically and Kiki, talk to me a little bit about mentally the adjustments you guys made between game 1 and the other 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for us, my default is unfortunately like very passive and very conservative, which I think works with some lines, doesn't work with other lines. And I think Charlotte's beaters are great, and I think sometimes they get too over deferential, and instead of saying like, oh, let me play my game, I'm like, I can't touch them, so let me like sit back and like protect on defense, but I don't need to create anything on offense. Like if my chasers aren't doing it, like that's the luck. And I think we're just too passive, and I think Kiki and I just like looked at each other and we're like, hey, I think we're better than like how we're playing, so why not just like try and be a little more aggressive? I don't think that's like a strength of mine, but that's something I'm working on this season, is like, let me try and be on offensive better, and I think it worked out today.
I think it was phenomenal the second 2 games. An oldie but a goodie from my RPI days. Confidence is key. You guys showed it in those second 2 games. Love seeing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, we had the little like pregame interview or whatever, and that was one of the things you talked about was not playing with respect for your opponent without being too deferential or playing too conservatively. And so definitely could see it in the last game. I mean, is there a beat on the field right now you feel like you can't make?
I mean, quite a few. I think Charlotte has really good beaters who jump, and I always forget that, and I always throw at their legs. I do think our team's been working a lot on our turning beats. I felt like very good about like turning and finding the ball. So that was very nice of you, and I think I was up.
I can ask you a real question. Were there any tendencies that you picked up during the games that you tried to specifically exploit that you want to share?
I'm just really,
Cheat codes for the rest of the division.
I'm just really old, so I think when people are newer, they might not like know how to approach it. So I think just picking up on hesitations. I think in beating, if you don't hesitate, you can win like 95% of it just by not hesitating. But I think as they get more experience and learn, I think it's like a difference.
Yeah. Getting back to the confidence, baby. I love it. Final question, closing thoughts for you. This is your opener of the season. Beautifully done. A sweep. We love to see it. You've got a big, tough series next week in New York, right? You've obviously set the tone here. What do you guys do for these next couple of days leading up to New York to be sure you're ready to put out? Because I think if we're honest, that's going to be the division title on the line for either team.
Here's hoping. I think, play with confidence, but don't play overconfident. I think those were not all like perfectly clean games, and I think as we get more tired, communication is the first to go. So I think really drilling with the team, like we got to be talking because we don't want to be losing people. I think they are some really tough games, so I'm ready for that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep, great job out there. Good luck next week.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this first series, the opener for Boston. We had a blast. We hope you did too. I'm Mario Nasta.
Teddy Costa.
Dana Baronet.
Thank you for joining us. Have a good rest of your day.